Thank you, Adnan, and welcome to Orlando and the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania from Camping World Stadium. It's number 22, Virginia Tech, and 19th ranked Oklahoma State. The winner heads home with a 10-win season, and here come the Hokies, led by second-year head coach Justin Fuente. Only Ralph Regin in ACC history has 20 wins in his first 2 seasons. Justin can match that tonight. How about a third straight 10-win season on the line for the Cowboys? That would be the best streak in school history if they can get it done in Orlando tonight. And here come the Pokes, led by Mike Gundy, responsible for 5 10-win seasons at his alma mater, where he once starred at quarterback. And we welcome you to Orlando. Beth Mowins, along with Anthony Becht. Rocky Boiman will join us in a minute. We've got our first matchup, Anthony, of this bowl season of 2 teams that come in ranked, and we've got a great showdown. It's the OK State offense. It's that lunch pail defense for Va-Tech.
Super excited about this matchup. You're talking about an offense for Oklahoma State, 600 yards of offense versus Virginia Tech's defense, one of the best in country. Defensive coordinator Bud Foster's going to have his hands full today because they got a quarterback on the other side named Mason Rudolph. And I'll tell you what, I've been impressed. Pocket presence and movement, the ability to just adjust his feet a little bit and get the throw to his wide receivers on the outside. Been impressed. Also, progressions, right? Starting to the right of the field. Look at the X-ray vision. He's got it all over the place. Coming back left, giving a nice high ball point to his receiver on the outside. And then can you drop a dime down the side of the field for a touchdown? He's been doing that all year. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Exciting to see him play today.
How about the defensive numbers for Virginia Tech? Under 2 touchdowns allowed per game and just over 300 total yards per game. Both those amongst the best numbers in the nation. We are getting set for kickoff from Camping World Stadium. Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State coming up.
In Capital One Bowl Mania.
Let's head down to the field right now. Rocky Boiman with Coach Mike Gundy.
Coach, you told us yesterday this will be the best defense you'll face all season. What specific challenges do they create?
Well, they're big inside. They play really physical inside in the running game. In the secondary, they're really long. They've got good length at safety and corner. And, that's really what our strength is on the offensive side of the ball at the wide receiver position. So I think it's a great matchup. It ought to be a lot of fun to watch.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
I think one thing to watch for today, Virginia Tech's defense giving them a lot of looks defensively on the back end. Bud Foster told me yesterday they want to mix up the picture for Mason Rudolph. Expect some 2 deep, some 4 deep, some man-to-man with a free safety back there, different things for him to look for. In terms of a key player, the linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, what makes him great is his versatility. He comes off the edge, he plays a stack linebacker, so his ability to be a hybrid player creates a lot of challenges for this offense.
And he's also out there on special teams, Rocky. We are going to get the matchup that we're all anxious to see as Oklahoma State is set to receive in the black jerseys tonight. Joey Sly has returned for Virginia Tech to kick it off after missing the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. He is the top scorer in school history. Kick is away, and that one will bounce into the end zone for the touchback. So here comes Mason Rudolph, the 6'5" senior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, leads the FBS in passing yards per game.
And there's NFL scouts here for one reason, his play this season. Pocket presence, we talked about it, working the progressions. I think the biggest jump from last season, Beth, is his accuracy as a passer, and he's got a ton of weapons to distribute the ball to today.
He's got the experience, 31-9 as a starter in his final night in an Oklahoma State jersey. And they love to push the tempo. Justice Hill is the tailback alongside of him, the sophomore out of Tulsa. And Rudolph's first pass of the day is a completion to Britton Abbott, the Cowboy back. Just his third catch of the year, and a pickup of 16.
Well, immediately you see man-to-man coverage across the board. DB's up in the receivers' faces. Crossing routes will be big.
They'll go to that fast tempo. Justice Hill with the burst for the first down as he gets into Hokie territory and knocked out inside the 40 by Reggie Floyd. Rocky?
And with all this firepower outside for Oklahoma State, a forgotten guy is Justice Hill, but they told us yesterday he is the key to this offense. They've got to shut down this run game, make them one-dimensional.
They'll go play action using Justice Hill, and the deep ball incomplete, intended for the Biletnikoff Award winner James Washington. That's going to be a big matchup there on Brandon Faison today.
Yeah, both of these guys are NFL prospects. Washington, the Biletnikoff winner, like you talked about, he is prolific, he's explosive, and he is the #1 receiver that Mason Rudolph is trying to get the football to.
Third consecutive Biletnikoff Award win for Big 12 wide receivers. These spread offenses, the norm now in the Big 12. And Hill pushed out around the 34. Again, it's Reggie Floyd, the Rover, coming up to make the hit.
Justice Hill, I'll tell you, I watch him on film, a click under 1,400 yards, a true sophomore, one of the better players on this football team offensively.
And he may be one of the best running backs in the country next season, his junior year. This is Rudolph. Caught by Dylan Stoner down to the 21-yard line and a first down. Gain of 9 there. They'll quickly hustle up to the line of scrimmage. L.D. Brown is now in at tailback. Receiver screen. Stoner picked up a couple and hit again by Floyd.
Folks, I hope you're hydrated. You're getting a lot of plays. We're moving fast. This Virginia Tech defense will have to be on its toes the entire game defending this offense.
J.D. King is now in at running back. They're moving fresh legs in and out of the backfield early here on this initial drive of the ball game. Rudolph from the 20, he's going to run with it. And it'll get down to about the 16, so they got a third down play coming up.
That's an interesting play call. We're in the red zone. This is where Virginia Tech excels, one of the best in the country. Tight window throws be a challenge for Mason.
It is, in fact, the #1 red zone defense in America. And they'll run it right up the gut and right into the belly of Matua Puwaka, and now a decision on fourth down for Mike Gundy.
Well, if you're going this fast, Beth, and you got a big back in the backfield, number 27 in King, 205 pounds, that's the decision is to go, in my opinion, but it looks like they're going to kick it, take the 3 points. That's a win, by the way, for Virginia Tech, in my opinion.
And guys, the offensive lineman down here, they wanted to go for Zachary Crabtree. The right tackle was dejected after he saw the field goal team running out there.
Matt Amendola, a 31-yard attempt. He's made his last 8 in a row, 20 for 26 on the season for Matt. And that kick is good, so the Cowboys get 3 on the board, and Tech gets a stop in the red zone from the touchdown perspective. First drive of the day, and a field goal from Matt Amendola gets Oklahoma State on the board as the drive stalls in the red zone. And a good stop there for that lunch pail defense. Look at the efficiencies, though. 9 plays in just over 2.5 minutes as Oklahoma State put the pedal to the metal. Amendola set to kick it away on an overcast night, but warm enough here in Orlando. Javon Quillen going to bring it out, and he'll get it out across the 20. And a return of 23. So our first look at Josh Jackson, the freshman out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. The first freshman to start a season opener since Michael Vick back in '99, and then he broke Vick's passing record this year as well.
I've been impressed with his play. Downfield accuracy has been good. They won't have Cam Phillips today, their top receiver, but run skills. He's going to get a lot of action today running the football. Design QB runs. He'll have some jet sweep action, some true option play out of the quarterback position will be big for him, moving the chains for this offense.
And the handoff, they'll try it right up the middle with Deshaun McClease. So one of the reasons why Jackson will have a little bit more responsibility, Anthony, they will be without their top receiver, Cam Phillips, and without their leading rusher, Trevon McMillan. There's a look at Phillips, who is out with a sports hernia injury, and one of the all-time greats at Virginia Tech. McMillan is graduating and decided to transfer, so he is no longer with the team. Pressure coming up the middle, and able to run away with it is Jackson, but we've got a flag down at the line of scrimmage. John O'Neill, our referee. It's a Big Ten officiating crew tonight.
Offside, defense number 1. 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
That was Calvin Bundage. How about the impact players tonight, Anthony?
They'll roll in 3 running backs. I love Peoples on tape. He's the guy they want to get the ball to. Sean Savoy will be the freshman at wide receiver they're going to look to. Trey Flowers, big-time hitter at safety, and Whitener at the linebacker position. The 2-year captain, 6 foot, 245 pounds. He's all heart, a lot of energy on the field for this defense.
Whitener, their leading tackler, the redshirt senior out of Mansfield, Texas. Has a couple of interceptions on the season. This OK State defense has 16 picks on the year.
Delay of game. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Yardage results in a first down.
You're seeing some movement at the line of scrimmage now. You may have heard some sounds also with some of that move. You see that clap by the linebacker right there. Referee calls that. That's a violation on the defensive side. Trying to get the Hokies to jump off sides. You see Virginia Tech taking their time here, using the play clock.
May see quite a clash of tempos at times today with this Virginia Tech offense trying to control that clock, and that's McClease again, the sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia, and a gain of 9.
He's the change of pace back. He's got the wiggle, the shake. And I think when you're talking about Oklahoma State's defense potentially loading the box, he may be the quick hitting guy that can make some people miss and hit it in the outside.
Savoy and Eric Kuma come to the left side, and now Savoy will motion into the backfield.
And you see with that jet sweep, the linebacker jumps to the outside. They're definitely prepared for some of that action with the wide receivers.
They'll run it with Deshaun McClease. Short gain there. Pick up maybe of 3, and that should move the chains. Rocky?
One thing we're already seeing from Virginia Tech's offense, a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, a lot of things for the linebackers in the secondary to have to watch for. That's part of their game. What that does, that creates a lot of hesitation back there where you second guess yourself, a big part of their game plan.
And if you start jumping that as a defense with that motion, and you fake that jet sweep, that opens up some natural holes and seams for the running back coming out of the backfield.
They will run that jet sweep with Savoy, and read nicely by Justin Phillips. That'll bring up second down. Well, the Josh Jackson timeline, of course, comes from a terrific family. His father, Fred, longtime coach at Michigan. And then at Saline High School, Josh was a finalist for Michigan Player of the Year, and the first Virginia Tech freshman to start the season opener at quarterback since Michael Vick. And the pass incomplete, dropped by Sean Savoy. It's going to bring up third down, and that, Anthony, speaks to what the coaches talked about. They've really liked a lot of the stuff Josh Jackson has been doing. Sometimes it's been the guys around him that have struggled a bit.
You're right, and without Cam Phillips, who's going to be the receiver that steps up? When your opportunity there to make a play, you have to catch the football. Huge drop there for Virginia Tech.
On 3rd and 9.
Normally see a lot of off coverage, man to man, up tight. They're going to force these receivers to get open.
Pressure coming up the middle. Jackson puts it up for grabs, and the catch is made by Henry Murphy, junior out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and a 24-yard hookup.
When one guy is down, who will step up to make a play? Now the tempo's starting to speed up for Virginia Tech. Nice job. It's a high point ball. He really catches it with one hand. The defender had his hand on the other arm. It's a nice job right there, making a big play.
And one thing, if you're going to be a cornerback and you're going to press up like that, create some division, create some separation, get a jam in there to try to disrupt that route. Don't get up close and just let the guy run by you.
They were working on A.J. Green that time, the sophomore out of DeSoto, Texas, at corner. On first down, Jackson will keep inside the 15 and diving for the first down, close to the 10.
He's dangerous with his legs. Watch this view here. They're going to pull it. Two linemen on the outside, fake the jet sweep, and really there's nobody home. Everything's there. He's just kind of weaving his way through. Big play with his legs. This, to me, moving the chains, getting the first downs, and getting plays, keeping this Oklahoma State offense off the field is going to be key tonight.
Josh has 4 rushing touchdowns this year to go along with his 19 touchdown throws. Picked up 12 more there. They'll keep it. They'll run option left. And the quarterback into the end zone. Touchdown, Hokies.
Virginia Tech comes into this game on offense saying, listen, you're high flying in the Big 12, but we are going to be physical. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to use our quarterback with him. Right now, that's about as physical a drive as you can put together, creating in the run game.
8 plays, 76 yards, 4 minutes and 18 seconds on that drive. Capped off by Jackson's 13-yard touchdown run. And Sly's PAT is good. And it's 7-3, Virginia Tech.
He's only a freshman, but I'll tell you what, he runs this option, this RPO offense well, and you see the toughness at the goal line for the touchdown.
The Camping World Bowl, brought to you by Camping World, America's #1 RV retailer since 1966, and Taco Bell, where you can experience the power of the dollar.
The Camping World Bowl pep rallies were held last night for both teams. A lot of fun here in Orlando. Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State, the ACC meeting the Big 12, and both sides hoping for a 10th win of the season. Beth Mowins, Anthony Beck, Rocky Boyman on what is a great day to just be sitting in the recliner right now. You just saw Navy get a win over Virginia. You got the Valero Alamo Bowl coming up next. Stanford, TCU. And both teams here have scored on their initial possessions of the day. So it's a good time to remind you about Capital One Bowl Mania continuing tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN. The Valero Alamo Bowl. Bryce Love, who averages over 8 yards per carry against that TCU defense, which allows under 3 yards per rush. Tonight's game also available on ESPN, the Cortez and the ESPN app. This was also the game, remember, last year that TCU trailed 31-0 and rallied to win in triple overtime.
And he's been doing it on one leg the last couple of weeks. Unbelievable numbers for the running back out of Stanford.
That's coming up next. This is Mason Rudolph, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And he finds Marcel Aitman, one of 2 receivers with over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That's a 15-yard hook up there. Rudolph gets some air under it and through the hands of Aitman that time. Greg Stroman had the coverage.
Yeah, then the tempo was outstanding. Here's the game plan defensively, okay? You're gonna get a lot of offense in between the 20s. don't give up the explosive plays to Oklahoma State. That's what their keys are. That's what they want to do. Score the plus 40, plus 50-yard plays. If they can get them to the red zone where they were successful last series, they feel like they can tighten down the spaces and play better against this prolific offense of Oklahoma State.
They score 46 points per game. Their total yards per game, 575. They can get after it. And that's Justice Hill with a nice collision along the sideline. He ran into Anthony Shagag. And the big play potential, tremendous. Look at that, 11 plays of over 65 yards, most in the country.
And Bud Foster, he's worried about that. He's preaching to his team. We cannot let it happen. And if you go back in time when they played West Virginia, those big players were some of the killers in that game. They're a much better defense now moving forward last game of the season.
In fact, second in the nation in third down defensive percentage, just 25% of the time for foes. On a 3rd and 8, Rudolph converts to Marcel Aitman. That's a 15-yard gain.
You know, we talk about Washington, but this guy's been just as successful. A huge red zone target, 6'4", 5th-year senior, going to the Senior Bowl, one of their top weapons.
Out of Dallas, he's top 10 all-time at Oklahoma State in receiving yards. And he and James Washington, the most prolific tandem in the country this year. On 1st and 10, the give is to Hill, and he is slammed down by Ricky Walker. Boy, do the Hokies, Anthony, love their front two of Walker and Settle.
Bud Foster talks about the bell cow, number 8, right here in the middle. These two guys, Settles and Bell and Walker, they're disruptors. They push back the pocket, and they make some big plays in the run and the pass game. They get this defense going.
And they're going to pick up the sack as well. Trayvon Hill, the sophomore out of Virginia Beach. 5.5 sacks now on the season.
It's nice to go fast, Beth, but if you don't get positive yards, they're going backwards. It's a great series right now by Virginia Tech.
They lost 8 yards on their first two, or on 1st and 2nd down here. 3rd and 17. Rudolph will roll out and then just throw it down into the turf.
Tried a little trickeration here, Beth. Snap the ball, nobody moves. They're going to try to get Virginia Tech to kind of run towards the quarterback and throw a screen. Virginia Tech, well coached, definitely stayed home there. It's a great series.
They did not go for it, and now they'll force the punt. Zach Seiner. Stroman takes it off a bounce. Dangerous play there. Stepped out at the 9.
Big time stop for this Virginia Tech defense. Trayvon Hill doing a nice job on the edge with the big sack.
Welcome back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Beautiful time here in Orlando, Florida, and a 7-3 lead for Virginia Tech thanks to the play of Josh Jackson.
Yeah, you know, a little throw it up ball here. Receiver makes the play more than the quarterback, but this is the difference here, the running ability. Can Oklahoma State stop him when he runs the ball? 2 carries, 25 yards. Here's the touchdown run. Physicality. Once he gets to that 2nd and 3rd level, he becomes a big running back at 6'1", 215 pounds. So let's see how Oklahoma State answers here defensively.
That touchdown was good for 13 yards, so 2nd time with the football for the Hokies.
One thing apparent down here is just the amount of stuff that Virginia Tech does offensively. We've seen the quarterback run. We've seen the zone with the running back. We've seen a shot down the sideline. We've seen a tunnel screen. Just a lot of things to think about for the defense.
And they have loved running those receivers behind the line of scrimmage here early on. Grimsley is the guy in the slot right now. McLeese is the tailback. On 2nd and 10, McLeese hit at the 9 by Calvin Bundage, and it's 3rd down.
Calvin Bundage is showing up right now. He's the guy on the edge, coming downhill, making some plays. He's the traveler with the jet sweep player. He's been around the football. You see tremendous speed out of him. He's someone Virginia Tech's going to have to find and block when they're running the football.
3rd and 9 from the 9. Pressure coming, Jackson trying to avoid it, breaks the tackle of Bundage in the backfield, and he will slide out to the 20-yard line and a first down. And a collision at the tail end of the play with Rodarius Williams.
Coach is upset here. They thought Jackson was giving himself up and takes a big shot. Wiggling his neck, but defensive player still down, Beth. Williams. That's a full speed collision right there.
Let's see when he commits to the slide. Once that starts, you're supposed to stay away from the sliding runner.
It's close. I mean, listen, the quarterback obviously trying to get those extra yards. And it looks like he's trying to cut back in briefly. But again, 2 players there coming in. And they do hit helmet to helmet there. And another player runs into him, his own player, number 94, Bralford, the defensive end. So,
well, you know, Josh Jackson is lobbying the officials right now that should have been a late hit.
Again, they're reviewing to see when, Beth, the slide started. And briefly, you do see him try to look like he's cutting back to the inside, and then he's like, uh-oh, here comes some trouble. And then he takes the shot. So that's tough to ask a defender.
Yeah,
I get it.
so.
I mean, listen, we don't want to hit the quarterbacks. The defender's not really launching. He's actually kind of falling to the ground and almost trying not to hit him. But I think I don't pull a flag on here if I'm the referee, just watching that all go down. It's close, though.
Yeah, I would agree. And he did not go after the quarterback's head.
And it's good to see him get up, Beth.
A.J. Bush is number 6, the backup quarterback who was getting ready just in case.
And again, once you make that slide, the ball obviously is placed where the football is at that point. Looks like it's well past the first down marker. So and again, Bundage, number 1, is in the backfield, Beth, ready to make this tackle. But again, the elusiveness of Josh Jackson, it's going to be tough. You got to break down. Don't just run full speed at him when you're trying to make a play.
That's Rodarius Williams, the freshman out of Shreveport.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a first down stands. First down, Virginia Tech.
I think the officials did a nice job there. Virginia Tech will get the first down yardage out. Looks like they're going to spot it with the nose on the 20-yard line. Justin Fuente, though, still making his case that should have been called a late hit.
And again, Josh Jackson, he's not the fastest quarterback. He's got good speed, but his movement, agility, side to side. You can't just come full speed downhill and expect to tackle him because he's going to shake you. You got to break down for that moment when a small play turns into a big one. Truly hurts you with the first down run.
1st and 10 with Stephen Peoples now in at tailback. Peoples will get the call. This is what Virginia Tech's been doing all year long. They do not have a running back that has a 100-yard rushing game. In fact, Jackson is the only guy that has a 100-yard rushing game, but it's been by committee, Anthony, and the average is okay for the team.
And Peoples is that big body back. He's the guy they want to get the football to downhill. He's got good quickness, but he's going downhill quickly. He's been battling a foot injury the entire season. They feel like he's healthy right now. Going to be a big part of this running game tonight.
They run for nearly 170 yards per game, about middle of the pack nationwide. They're going to run it again here, and good fight, good second effort there by the Hokie running back Peoples. Got away from Whitener for the first down, Rocky.
From a personnel standpoint, with Rodarius Williams out of the game, they've moved Ramon Richards, the safety, to cornerback. Now, he played cornerback all last year, so it shouldn't be much of a switch of a change for him.
And it looks, Rocky, like Jarrell Morrow will step up now at one of the safety spots with Richards moving over. They were actually worried about the other cornerback, A.J. Green, who's had some back issues. Jackson, and again they go after A.J. Green, and the catch is made by Phil Patterson, the redshirt freshman.
And Virginia Tech trying to make this a physical game. We talked about that was 7 rushes in a row before that pass. And again, that's what they're good at. That's where they feel like they have an advantage. They're showing that. Oklahoma State needs to bring the hats here against the run.
Jackson will check to the sideline. Change up the play. With the lead and continuing to chew time off of that clock. They'll run with Peoples, who cuts it back to the inside for the first down. Out across the 40 and a gain of 8.
And they're really using the clock here. Getting down under 10 seconds, calling a play, surveying the land, getting the check that they want. Here's the play selection. Obviously, heavy rush, Beth, right now in this game. And they're going to keep doing it. Running. And all of a sudden, if you fall asleep as a defensive back or you get a little nosy at safety, they're going to start throwing that ball over the top.
Anthony mentioned the slow tempo for Virginia Tech. I've been tracking it. They have not snapped the ball yet this game with over 12 seconds on the clock.
They're going to let it run under 5 here before they hand it off to Peoples. They have the advantage in total yards in time of possession. They have the advantage on the scoreboard as well.
See a lot of speed, though, right now up front for Oklahoma State. They hit the gaps hard at the defensive line position. The problem is if you hit the gaps hard and run by the action of the running back, they can get to that second level. But again, you see that what they're going to need on the inside and the outside to be disruptors. When they make it and they pick that gap right, they're going to make a big play in the backfield.
Led by their defensive coordinator, Glenn Spencer. Final minute of this first quarter. Jackson tosses it out into the flat. James Clark on the run makes the catch, and a pickup of 9.
This is an outstanding catch, and this is a timer. Look at the extension here. Does he have it secured 1 foot? Absolutely. It's a nice job, and Beth, we talked about it. We've seen Murphy earlier, not a lot of catches this season, make a big play, and then Clark stepping up, making a catch. He only came into the game with 7 receptions.
3 different guys with a catch in the absence of All-America candidate Cam Phillips. Out with the injury for this Camping World Bowl. Need a yard to keep the drive alive, and Jackson burrows his way for that yard and an extra one. First down.
Sometimes your best defense, Beth, is your offense. Yep. And when you have a prolific offense like Oklahoma State, you know what you do? You take care of that clock. And right now, that's the game plan. Weapons are down for this Virginia Tech team, and they're going to slow the pace down, be methodical, and let these Oklahoma State players on offense sit on that bench and wait their turn.
Well, they've been here a time or two. In fact, 25 years in a row bowling for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And through the first quarter, they have the 7-3 lead over Oklahoma State tonight in Orlando. And we welcome you back to Orlando and the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. On another gorgeous night here in Orlando, 7-3, Virginia Tech with the lead over Oklahoma State as we get set to start this second quarter. Marcus Lemonis, who is the CEO of Camping World, now joining us. I know he's trying to hold on here. You got a big fan right here, Marcus, of your show and, of course, the bowl.
I was there day one with you, Marcus. The
you
fifth
were,
season
4 or
for the
5
show.
years ago.
I made a little tweet to you. I know you got a lot of followers. You were able to get back to me, which I was proud of. But I love it. It's been a fantastic run for you.
The profit, yeah.
I've enjoyed it. I think, as I get to the end of the year, I always look back and try to think about what I'm grateful for. And we were able to affect more small businesses this year. And as we watch these young student athletes get out there on the field and fight for their win, we know that next year they're going to be fighting for a job. And
Absolutely.
so we want to help them.
We're going to keep you with us here for a little bit as we get underway here in the second quarter. Virginia Tech trying to drive for another touch. This is the first year Camping World involved here with the naming rights of this bowl. Why was it important for you to become a part of this?
You know, we took over the stadium naming rights about 1.5 years ago, and it was important to me that there was some level of consistency in the marketplace. And as fans on TV and locals saw it, they just saw some level of consistency, not so many names here. It's worked out well.
On 2nd and 1. Again, they continue to use as much of that play clock as they can. They control the time of possession and the tempo in that first quarter. And this is the 12th play of this drive. Good stuff in the middle right there for Oklahoma State with Osborne and Trey Carter.
Now, Marcus, I've been told that you're a huge Miami Hurricane, Miami Dolphins fan. Obviously, we have a big game with them in the Orange Bowl playing Wisconsin. Any little preempt to that game to talk about?
Well, I have to be careful. I'm on the board of the University of Miami now, so I'm not. I signed some papers. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say.
I got you.
But I'm excited for the season.
Yeah.
I feel like the program's headed in the right direction, and they got the kids focused on getting stuff right in the classroom and on the field, and that's important to me.
That's coming up in the
Miami
Orange
looks
Bowl.
good.
Yeah.
They do. They've been strong. There's no
Wisconsin looks
question.
good, too.
Turnover chain, of course, one of the big stories of this college football season. It's 3rd and 1. Jackson, option left, and the pitch, and another missed tackle, allowing Jalen Holston, the freshman out of Stockbridge, Georgia, to pick up the first down.
And again, when you're talking about this run game, you cannot miss tackles. When you have an open opportunity, set your feet. That's the second time now we've seen Bundage out there at the linebacker position in the right spot, just not able to secure the tackle for Oklahoma State.
You will keep the drive alive, run it right up the middle for a couple more. What do you love about this time of year and all the ball?
Okay, I just got to say something for both of you. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do this. I won't let anybody see it. But I'm a big believer in preparing for business, right?
Preparation, baby.
When you come to this booth with Beth and Anthony, you better be prepared. I mean, literally, I don't even know what this thing says, but it's got every player, every stat. I'm a people process product guy. You guys got it figured out.
The P's, I like that. Well, here's the thing. I write everything down just so I have it in my mind. I might use 5 things on that entire
I saw you copying Beth's stuff, okay? I saw you. I don't even want to hear it.
Good run right up the middle, and the spin by Peoples for the first down, and they're into the red zone again. And a gain of 13.
We talked about him being the big body back, and he's downhill. And when no one's around him, he can make people miss as well. Came in little gimpy with that foot. It looks like it's healed well, showing his burst and explosion up the middle.
A 15-play drive that started 80 yards ago and has chewed up over 8 minutes off the clock. And it's 1st and 10.
Oklahoma State's offense trying to figure out when they're going to get on the field again. The game plan right now has been masterful for Virginia Tech.
12 and a half minutes to just 5 minutes of possession. The surge down inside the 5. Peoples continues to run strong. Off that left side behind, well, how about Wyatt Teller, the All-ACC first-teamer, number 57 at left guard, along with Parker Osterloh. And center Eric Gallo making his 23rd consecutive start tonight.
And what happens here? You get 15, 16-play drives. It starts taking the will out of you a little bit on defense. See some of their hands on their waist. And then the offense, of course, Mason Rudolph trying to figure out when it will be his turn to make some plays.
They've already run for over 100 yards in this first half. And why not run it some more? Legs churning for the goal line. And down just outside the 1. But good for a first down for Peoples.
I'll tell you what, man, he looks like he wants to stay in the game. Anytime a running back's huffing and puffing, the only time they stay in is when they're about a yard away from the goal line. And I can't imagine him not getting the ball again on this first play.
Marcus Lemonis, the play call here from the CEO of Camping World.
I always tell people to stick to what they know, okay? Stick to what you know.
He's getting a timeout.
I'm going to call a timeout right about now. I'll tell you guys a little funny story. A couple years ago, I use social media a lot. A couple years ago, I think Virginia Tech was either playing in a bowl game that I was involved in or playing Miami. And I put on social media that if Virginia Tech wins the game, I'm going to go to campus and I'm going to spend 3 hours with all the business students. I literally didn't think they'd win the game. And they won the game, and I headed up to Virginia Tech. Beautiful campus, unbelievable group.
They're going to review this right here to see if Peoples broke the plane.
Yeah, hard to see the ball there.
And let's see, where does the knee go down? He keeps it up right there.
I don't know.
Close.
I don't know.
If we had an angle from the other side.
See?
Like this one.
Yep. Is it touched?
I think
And
it's
that's
short.
close. Marcus is calling it. He says
going
he's short.
He's
I
short.
think they might give it to him right here. Let's see where the football is.
As long as that
Not a good
ball.
angle. We need a better angle. Come on, ESPN. Give me a better angle.
Questioning our cameraman.
I'm not questioning anybody.
Some of the best in the business.
I don't want
by
them
the
to
way.
come off my logo, so I don't question the camera. There you go.
I'm impressed. He kept those legs churning. He knew to keep the knee up off the ground.
That angle, if it was straight down the line, obviously would make it clear for
Not
me.
conclusive, right?
You can assume that it looked like it hits the line, but
We're going to go with whatever Beth says. Let's just stick to that.
Rodney Ames is our replay official tonight.
Okay.
And he's a good one. This is a Big Ten crew we've got with us this evening.
You know what's fascinating to me, being part of the bowl game, is being able to see the inner workings of what it takes to actually.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
there it goes.
It's a good layout right there and a good call by you.
Well
Hey,
done.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm working
Quick
on this.
learner, right? This is how it works.
Here we go. Let's see what happens.
Did get the first down, however, so it's 1st and goal, Virginia Tech. An impressive 17-play drive that's still going.
They're going to mash one right up there, Beth. Not trying to trick anybody.
Right down the gut.
Fumble! The mesh point, fumble, ball was out, still out. Oklahoma State comes up with it, Ramon Richards. Jackson could not get it into the belly of Peoples cleanly.
You're that close. Brutal mistake in this play call here. Why have any type of RPO? Give the ball to Peoples. He's 220 pounds and let him take it in. If they stop him, they stop him. Now you have a major malfunction. Huge break. Excellent job being on the place to the ball there by Oklahoma State.
After the play was over, sideline warning against Oklahoma State. First down.
Well, they celebrate the takeaway. Marcus Lemonis, CEO of Camping World, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you,
with
guys.
us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
That rope just went viral. Power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
How about Beck's breakdown, Anthony? What happened on this one?
Well, listen, first of all, it's a poor play. I don't like the read option, but watch 89. That's Traylon Weber. He's going to come downhill. Watch the running back. He wants to come straight downhill, but because that defensive end there, he forces him to get wider and hits the ball on the hip when the quarterback pulls it out. Again, when you're within the half-yard line, Beth, to me, just line it up and go straight downhill. You got 4 plays to do it. Big opportunity there for Oklahoma State, and they take advantage.
Justice Hill able to bounce to the outside, and he's got some running room. Cutting back and out across the 35-yard line. It was Deion Newsom who missed him in the backfield.
I think he does everything. He's got wiggle. He can make blockers get away from his defenders. He's got patience, and he runs with power. It's going to be a big weapon in this game.
24 yards on that carry. Again, with the bounce to the outside.
Oh,
And I don't think his backside ever hit the ground. Hill still running inside the 10 and down around the 5.
that's just phenomenal awareness by Justice Hill. Let's watch him here. He's able to shake several guys at the line of scrimmage. Gets turned on top of the defender. Oh, and his elbow
Elbows
hits it.
down.
Yeah.
Yep, elbows down.
They're going to review that. They're going so fast, Beth.
That was Tremaine Edwards who spun him. It stands as a 56-yard run, but it looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, they'll bring that one back, but just to get away from the defensive linemen that were in the backfield, the jump cut was amazing. It's a good tackle there by Edmonds. There's his elbow right there, hitting the ground, forearm, wrist, everything's there.
All that's allowed is the hand. Rocky?
You could talk about that power. Justice Hill added 15 pounds of his frame from last season to this season, and you can see it come to fruit right there, running through arm tackles to go along with that nice jump cut ability he has.
Watch this. Multiple defenders there. He just kicks outside. Great vision. That's just having the anticipation. And of course, he's down there, but I'll tell you what now. You better bring your A game if you're a tackler on this defense, because Justice Hill can make you miss.
I love Mike Gundy's line. It's that step sideways and acceleration that sets Justice apart. We've seen that now on the last 2 plays for him to get to the outside.
And that's the thing, Beth, is one of the top qualities of a good running back is the ability to get the full speed quickly. And that's one thing Justice Hill does. His 0 to 60 time, very, very quick.
And, you know, Coach Gundy said, listen, I'm probably going to have one more year in him, so they're going to make the most of it because he feels like he is going to be something special. He's had a fantastic year this year, but next year, I'll tell you what, with the new quarterback in this system, he could have close and push towards that 2,000-yard mark. He's a true sophomore, Beth.
Yeah, and the officials are going to move the ball back out towards midfield.
The runner's elbow was down, which makes it 2nd down and a half yard to go at the 45.5-yard line. 2nd down.
See where they're going to spot it. All the way back out across midfield. So instead of a 56-yard run, it's a 9-yard run. All of this coming off of the turnover inside the 5-yard line after Virginia Tech had its longest sustained drive of the season, over 10 minutes long. 18 plays, 90 yards, and they didn't get the points up on the fumble. And now Oklahoma State trying to chew up some real estate quickly.
Wow, what? That's a tremendous, I mean, listen, when you run a lot of plays on offense, Beth, you run to possibly making mistakes, and those things kind of happening. So, again, you better be precise. And, you know, they drove it right down Oklahoma State's throat, but they were able to withstand it. Now you've got to take advantage of your opportunities. You've got to get touchdowns, no more field goals for Oklahoma State, because I don't know how many more chances they're going to get throughout this game if the pace stays the way it is.
And after much discussion, the officials have their spot out across the 45-yard line. As Houchen Gaines tries to fire up the Hokie crowd across the way. Hill is out, and it's J.D. Brown now in alongside Mason Rudolph. On 2nd and 1, they will run Brown, and he's got the 1st down. And may have gotten hurt on the play. That's a gain of 12.
He's got a warmer on his calf, but he's going to stay in there. Now they're going to bring him out. I don't know if Rudolph, now he sees it. He didn't see him running off, so.
Yeah, Brown wanted to stay, but instead it's J.D. King. Rudolph on the slant route, and it is caught by Johnson. Kyron, the sophomore out of New Orleans, good for 13 yards. Mason now 6 for 9, 73 yards on the day. Caught again by Johnson on the ricochet. 12 more there.
Mason's got to be precise with the pressure that's coming. This defensive line surging. He's got to be good on his reads pre-snap.
Start.
And a false start.
Offense number 60. 5-yard
That's
penalty.
going to be on
Still 1st down.
Zachary Crabtree, the senior out of Mansfield, Texas, all Big 12 performer.
That jump might have happened because you're seeing a lot of movement, like pre-snap, quick movement on the defensive line for Virginia Tech. They're trying to hold that look as long as they can and then stunt to it quick might cause that penalty.
On 1st and 15, Justice Hill is back in. On the draw, Hill. Down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. He runs for 9 more.
A lot of spread out coverage on that play. Mason Rudolph has multiple options. Runs, passes, RPOs, checks at the line of scrimmage. When you get 3 down linemen, 2 backers, 5 in the box, your key is to call run right there, taking advantage of it with a big run on 1st down.
The Big 12's leading rusher this year, already with 67 yards on 7 carries. More of Hill, and will be thrown for a loss. Decked behind the line, Trayvon Hill. He's already got a sack today as well.
Nice job. Hill comes right in between the guard and the tackle, and he's a smaller guy, 6'3", 245, so he's got great quickness. Number 78, the left tackle, Aaron Cochran, he's 6'8", 350, so his movement is not going to be able to stay up with number 94, Trayvon Hill.
Loss of 5 there, 3rd and 11. James Washington lined up to the top of your screen. The Biletnikoff Award winner, best wide receiver in the country. Ball batted straight up in the air, and it falls incomplete. That was Andrew Matuapuaka, the senior, wearing that special number 25 jersey, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, again, he's going to be right here, number 25, and he's just watching eyes of the quarterback. A little bit of a green dog blitz, which means he can come if the back stays and protects. Jumps up, makes it deflect the pass. Almost a turnover for Virginia Tech.
Matt Amendola has been good from 31. Of course, this is an outstanding special teams unit for Virginia Tech with 6 blocks to lead FBS this year. And Amendola's got it. Couple of red zone trips, and they have to settle for a couple of field goals, but it's now a 1-point game.
The Camping World Bowl, brought to you by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, everywhere. And Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs.
It was a day for kids this week at the Andretti Indoor Karting and Games facility. Players from both these teams joined kids from the West Lakes community surrounding Camping World Stadium here in Orlando for, amongst other things, a trip around the world's longest indoor karting track.
Love when the teams get together and do something for the community.
Yep.
And that's both teams there. So again, working together to make some smiles, put some smiles on some youth around the Orlando area. It's a phenomenal job by the Camping World Bowl, the committee, and everybody involved.
Josh Jackson with a 13-yard touchdown run, and Matt Amendola a couple of field goals, and a 7-6 game. Capital One Bowl Mania continues Friday on ESPN. How about these matchups for you from the Belk Bowl? It's Wake Forest and Texas A&M as they transition into the Jimbo Fisher era. And then the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Kentucky and Northwestern, from Josh Jackson to Justin Jackson. 4th in Big Ten history in rushing.
You want to talk about a workhorse, 4-year starter, excellent human being. We got to talk to him quite a bit when we were out there in Evanston, and I'll tell you, just a great young man, regardless if it's football or whatever else he gets into. He's impressive across the board.
Those are coming up tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. Of course, also available on the ESPN app. 1st and 10 here for Josh Jackson, the redshirt freshman quarterback for Virginia Tech. And the give is to Deshaun McClease. They have done a good job so far in this first half, controlling that clock, limiting the opportunities for the Oklahoma State offense. Of course, Josh grew up around football. His dad, Fred, former running back coach at Michigan. You know, those coaches' kids, you talk about the smarts and the high IQ and having grown up around the game. That's Josh Jackson.
Sitting in the meeting rooms as a kid, listening to his dad coach some of the great backs out of Michigan. So he's been around the game, like you said, on and off the field.
McLeese into the next level and out to the 45. Rocky?
For Oklahoma State, Rodarius Williams, he went out earlier with an injury at cornerback. He is now back in, which allows Ramon Richards to move back to safety.
So they are back to full strength along that back row. Of course, Richards had the big fumble recovery down inside the 5-yard line to stop a long Virginia Tech drive. Jackson scrambling, and he'll toss it. Trey Carter was the guy bringing the heat.
A formation we're seeing a lot out of Virginia Tech is what you call a nub end. I mean, there's no wide receiver to the outside. It's just a tight end or sometimes a tight end and a wing. And the philosophy there is you're trying to make that cornerback tackle. Cornerbacks naturally don't want to tackle. They don't want to get down in the muck down there. So you're forcing them to play physical more than they want to.
Justin Fuente, who grew up in Tulsa and was a big fan of Mike Gundy when he was a quarterback at Oklahoma State and certainly coaching the Cowboys. Justin then went on to quarterback at Oklahoma for a couple of years, and here he is replacing the legend Frank Beamer now in his 2nd season. He keeps that bowl streak alive, and he's getting to 10 wins his first year, trying to do it again in his 2nd season.
And I was there for his Memphis days. Just a phenomenal job. He's a bit of a quarterback whisperer. Remember, he was at TCU. Andy Dalton was there. Then Memphis with Paxton Lynch, and now the freshman, Josh Jackson.
Lynch is going to get the start for the Denver Broncos on Sunday. This is 3rd and 7 now for Virginia Tech. They've converted all 4 of their 3rd downs. Almost intercepted again off the deflection. Good high hands. A.J. Green tried to track it down.
That's a nice job by A.J. Green. And watch the middle of the field here. You're going to see the inside receiver run a post wide open, and he's not able to keep his eyes on it because of the pressure by Oklahoma State. And now the deflection on the ball. Good job by A.J. Green coming up the field to try to make a play and being aware there with that pass.
Oscar Bradburn, the freshman from Australia. And that one bounces out of bounds short. 1st and 10 for Mason Rudolph and Oklahoma State when we come back.
All ESPN coverage is streaming live on the ESPN app. Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Welcome back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Top 5 offense for Oklahoma State, top 5 defense for Virginia Tech, and right now it's a 1-point game, 7-6. Hokies on top. They had another long scoring drive just about to happen and fumbled it down inside the 5-yard line. And now Mason Rudolph and company back to work on 1st and 10 after the short punt. And that's the reverse to James Washington, wrapped up by Tremaine Edmonds.
Well, Hill's been a big factor. Watch him set the block and get outside with some great speed. He just brings so much to the table. And then breaking tackles on the outside and accelerating up the field. And finally jump cuts and then get up the field. Don't let him waste the yards when he runs the football. Really been impressed with him. 8 carries, 62 yards. Most importantly, look at that average, Beth. Almost 8 yards a carry every time he touches the football.
Cowboy fans want to see if they can finish a drive here with a touchdown instead of field goals. They've been stymied down inside the red zone and forced to kick a couple of times. Rocky?
I think Oklahoma State fans want to see the Biletnikoff winner, James Washington, get more involved. Just that jet sweep there, and I believe one other reception. Got to get him involved.
Does not have any receiving yards yet.
Bud Foster talked about they were going to roll some coverage to him, so you're going to get man-to-man. You're also going to get somebody over top of him sometimes. So again, who else can make plays? We're seeing multiple players now catch footballs.
3rd down and 8. Rudolph incomplete, looking for Washington, and it was behind him.
A little miscommunication by quarterback and receiver. Washington runs a deep post with some of that off coverage. You see him 8-step, sticks his foot in the ground. He's wide open, but the ball's out of his hands. I think Rudolph's assuming he may run a comeback to the outside. And again, Washington, to me, looks like he was right. He makes the right move. He would have been wide open if he made the completion.
Forces the punt. Greg Stroman, who's outstanding return man. And he'll get 11 yards back after the 43-yard punt. Checking to see if there might be a flag down there on the play. Officials are huddled to talk.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, receiving team number 85. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down. Timeout.
Chris Cunningham whistled for that penalty. A 1-point game here in the 2nd quarter. Friday night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. How about those Blue Bloods? USC and Ohio State, Sam Darnold and JT Barrett. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. And how about the play of Darnold?
I'm a big Darnold fan, and I'll tell you, he does some RPOs and a lot of things, but movement, accuracy, the way he throws the ball. I mean, he's not a runner by any stretch of imagination, but he can make some big plays. Now look, he's backed up in the end zone. They're calling a drop back pass. Not only does he fake it to the right, he still has enough moxie to come back to the left and make a big play. The skill set is big. A lot of quarterbacks coming out of this draft that I'm excited about.
1st and 10. Josh Jackson gets a nice block in the backfield. And out across the 30. Rocky?
For me, what does it for Darnold, what makes him the best quarterback, is his ability to scramble, his ability to run just a little bit, just enough. And with how poor the offensive line play is in the NFL these days, I think you've got to have a quarterback that can create with his legs a bit.
And I think he can shake off mistakes. When you see him throw some interceptions, which he's done this year, made turnovers, he's been able to shake it off, come back, and lead you right down the field for big plays. So that's a huge factor when you start looking at his ability to play at the next level.
2nd and 5. Jackson. Going to throw for the 1st down to Patterson. So you think he's the first quarterback to go, Sam Darnold? You got Josh Allen says he's coming out. Josh Rosen, probably everybody thinks coming out. Certainly Baker Mayfield will be there.
Well, once they all make it official, which we're waiting for, I would say, to me, I'm leaning towards Darnold. And I mean, these guys have all said they potentially haven't made the choice yet, but I'll tell you, when you're that good and you're ready and there's some teams there waiting for quarterbacks, hard to pass that opportunity up, Rocky.
It is. The question is going to be, does he want to go to the Cleveland Browns, right? I mean, let's be honest. I think that's a factor in his head if you're Darnold or Rosen, especially Darnold choosing if you're going to come out.
On the end around, Henry Murphy.
Well, not to throw any shade on the Browns again, but if they stay, they could be the team next year picking number 1. Yeah. So you never know. But
very true.
And quarterback, as we've come to learn over the years, such a dicey proposition. You look at what Deshaun Watson was already starting to do before he got hurt this year in his rookie campaign in the league.
And he falls to a perfect team that has weapons, and he sticks himself into that offense, and Bill O'Brien does great things. DeAndre Hopkins, they have a running game, offensive line. It's not going to be like that when you're a top pick in the top 3.
And USC has had guys in the past who look to be surefire, and we're not able to become the day 1 starters and last in the league. Flag down on that play as we approach 2 minutes to go in the half.
Block below the knees.
Yep, it's going to go against Tech.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense number 74. 10 yards from the end of the run. Still 2nd down.
That's the right guard. Braxton Pfaff, number 74. It's going to be right here. And close, but you can't do that behind the defender. A lot of talk about that, how dangerous that is, Beth. Some people want to see it go away. Some say it's part of the game for a long time.
Again, they'll let that play clock run down under 10 seconds. They have dominated the time of possession in this first half. Ramon Richards almost had the pick six.
He really did. He came up here. They tried to come back with a little tunnel screen. Receivers out there blocking. Ball floats up and only able to get one hand on it. Oklahoma State has to get off the field here. Great opportunity for them to get the ball back, Beth, with 3rd and forever.
Chance to try and take the lead into the locker room.
And it stops the clock on the incompletion, which helps Oklahoma State to save their timeout.
Give this to Peoples. Churning out to about the 40-yard line. And a gain of 10, so it's 4th down and 7 to Quentin Osborne, the guy that ended up wrapping him up. And Oklahoma State is going to have some time to work with. Let's check into the studio now. Out in Pasadena, here's Adnan Virk. Thank you, Adnan. The national semifinals at the Rose Bowl presented by Northwestern Mutual and the All-State Sugar Bowl coming your way on New Year's Day. Punt is away and the return for Stoner to the 19-yard line. 4 yards on the return after a 45-yard kick. The bowl action continues Saturday on ESPN. It's the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl with Washington and Penn State, and then the Capital One Orange Bowl, Wisconsin and Miami. Both games also available on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. Good quarterbacks, good running backs. How about the rookie, Jonathan Taylor, 3rd in the country this year as a freshman.
He's been a beast, Beth. I mean, he's been hard to tackle. They really have some mammoth offensive linemen. Myself and Rocket will be on the call, ESPN Radio, for that one. Can't wait to see that matchup.
So Oklahoma State, they average about 26 points rather, in the first half of games this year. Right now sitting at just 6. Rudolph trying to change that. And the overthrow to Dylan Stoner, and here comes a late flag from the secondary.
And that was Dion Newsome in coverage, and Stoner really had no idea the ball was coming his way, but Newsome was kind of getting handsy there, and that was where the direction of the football was going.
Interference. Defense number 20. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And it will be on Newsome.
We'll see him in the slot. Then pulls the shoulder pad, and Stoner trying to run his route there, and can't do it that far down the field. So free yardage for Oklahoma State and opportunity.
Rudolph coming back to make the catch is Marcel Aitman, who helped out his quarterback, and then he got out of bounds. Did he also get the first down? Looks like he did. 1:08 to go.
It's a strong throw by Rudolph, and
an 11-yard gain there. Receiver screen to Stoner. Again got out of bounds. Tremaine Edwards with the tackle.
And again, with Virginia Tech with almost double the time of possession, only a 1-point lead, and Oklahoma State trying to grasp the momentum here.
A bunch of the receivers to the left. Rudolph going over the top, on the run. The catch is made by Aitman. Lunging for the goal line. And down at the 1.
Adonis Alexander, number 36, the defensive back, is 6'3". But we talked about the downfield accuracy of the quarterback. Drops a dime right into Aitman's hands. And right now we have an injured player for Virginia Tech on the field. But that's a heck of a throw and catch by quarterback and receiver. 50 yards, Beth.
No one has done it better all year than Mason Rudolph with the deep throws. Tim Settle is the injured player. Marcel Aitman now, by the way, 4 catches, 91 yards. So on a night when James Washington has been quiet, Aitman's making some noise. And Mason Rudolph, 11 for 16 now, 150 yards. And a chance to take the lead here in the final minute of the half.
Well, we talked about the big plays, right? Explosive plays. If they don't score, it's been tough. A lot of goal line stands by Virginia Tech this year, Rocky, that we've seen on film versus Miami, versus Pitt. I know it's only 1 yard away, but they're not going to make it easy for Oklahoma State to score.
And Mike Gundy has pulled a couple of officials over to the sideline and gesturing out towards the Virginia Tech defense.
Well, they got this reverse wishbone. 2 big blockers in the backfield, 2 fullbacks with the back.
Justice Hill gets the call, and Justice Hill will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ran right through Tremaine Edmonds, the leading tackler for Virginia Tech.
Showing you a little bit of that power, Beth. Again, 2 lead blockers. You got to let somebody try to make the tackle, and really, you're right. Their best tackler is on the spot, Edmonds, number 49. But Hill's too hard to bring down.
Only needed 39 seconds and 4 plays to go 81 yards to take the lead. Sly splits them 13-7 with 45 seconds to go now in the half. Well, on New Year's Day, ESPN has the college football playoff semifinals for you at 5 o'clock Eastern. Oklahoma and Georgia in the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual, followed by Clemson, Alabama in the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Both games are also on ESPN Deportes, and you can stream them live on your ESPN app. How about the hot topics around college football, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse?
Yeah, I mean, look, the big story is Baker Mayfield and all the passing yards and everything he's brought to the table versus a devastating defense in Georgia. And you see the yards per game allowed, second in the FBS. Georgia, listen, to me, they're going to have to find a way to spy Mayfield the entire game. Roquan Smith is probably going to be that guy. It's going to be a great match. And, of course, we got the big game on the bottom, the 3rd straight meeting between these 2 teams. It's old hat, right? We know they're going to be there. But 2 great coaches, a lot of players with a lot of big game experience. I'm telling you what, I am ready for both of those football games.
Alabama won in 2015. Then it was Clemson last year. Now they'll meet in the semifinals this year. Short kick. And it will be handled by Virginia Tech. Chris Cunningham. How about that last drive? Impressive.
It's about making big plays in the passing game. And you see here, Rudolph, this is a strong, tough throw here on the outside. Off balance, throws a strike. And then here's another one to Aitman. He's becoming his favorite target. But look at the precision on the deep ball. Pro scouts are watching that tonight in the building. And then power. We talked about his speed and quickness, but you know what? Justice Hill can run with a little authority when he needs to.
And that's how quickly things can turn with this offensive firepower. Perhaps the biggest play, the costly fumble inside the 5-yard line earlier in the half for Virginia Tech.
Well, that play right there changes some things now, where you're probably trying to run the clock out. You get yourself close to the 50-yard line. You got 3 timeouts. He got out of bounds. see if they take some risks here and some chances to try to get a field goal range.
Matt Amendola's long is 53 yards on the season. He's already hit a couple. Excuse me, not Amendola. Joey Sly is outstanding for Virginia Tech. Their career scoring leader, their field goal kicker.
Got him,
Josh Jackson may not need him. Incomplete. Overthrew Murphy.
Normally a route for Cam Phillips. Henry Murphy does the job. He's wide open. He runs right through the defense up the middle, and the defensive back just gets caught. You see everybody's leveled the secondary, but nobody's staying home in the back end. And you get caught looking and peeking. Ramon Richards does that. Josh Jackson can't make the throw. That's critical. Huge play, a missed opportunity for Virginia Tech.
Without Cam Phillips,
Second charge, timeout.
their leading receiver this year, their all-time leader in receptions and receiving yards, out with the sports hernia injury. This is the difference in the game right now.
And Beth, you talked about it. That fumble, it was first and goal at the half-yard line. The half-yard line, and they have an RPO, read option play here, and the ball hits the hip of the back because of the pressure of the defensive end, and that proved to be tragic for Virginia Tech. And listen, Beth, you know, all those plays you're running and the time of possession you have are fine.
Yep.
But if you don't get points, who's that advantage go to? Oklahoma State just sitting in their wings. They know, they feel good about what they're doing on offense. They just don't have the chances, but they've made the most of them, and that was huge play, like you said, on that fumble.
They still have their 3 timeouts. And a strong-legged kicker in Joey Sly. 2nd and 10 from their own 46. Jackson on the move. He'll tuck it and run with it, and he'll step out with 24 seconds to go. Gained 5 there. He's now run it 7 times for 40 yards tonight.
Going to be smart here, Beth. 3rd and 5. It's manageable. I think Virginia Tech needs to seize the opportunity here. Be aggressive. Try to get this first down. Get up to the line of scrimmage. They got 3 timeouts, so instantly call timeout, Beth, if you get this. Oklahoma State potentially get the ball back with the stop.
Jackson gonna run it and taken down at midfield. And he took a hard hit from Osborne.
Yeah, he did.
And the clock continuing to roll now, under 10 seconds, Oklahoma State.
Again, I don't know if I love the call. You spread it out. You got a lot of quick twitch receivers. I know I'm proven at the positions, but I think when you have your opportunities to potentially score points, I think you try to let Josh Jackson throw a quick pass. And you never know. You break a tackle, you get out in the open, things change. You find yourself in field goal range there. They play it safe, try to spread everyone out. Oklahoma State was ready for it.
Oh, we talked about the turnover, that costly one down inside the red zone for Virginia Tech. But otherwise, you're looking at the scoreboard and you're saying, hey, we are keeping Oklahoma State well below their average, and still they managed to grab the lead late.
And you see, though, how fast and quickly Oklahoma State can score.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about 3-4 plays, and all of a sudden they're all the way down into the red zone. So Virginia Tech, nice game plan. It's worked perfectly, but you got to put the points on the board. And right now, 4th down, they're keeping Josh Jackson. Look for a quick kick here, potentially. Now let's look at the top. This receiver is wide open. Nobody's there. You can run a quick pass play if you'd like.
Jackson hit as he throws it up for grabs. Incomplete, and that'll take care of the first half.
Could have got a little closer there with a quick pass, but hey, throw it deep.
Well, that'll take care of the first half of play. An impressive late drive. Only 4 plays needed to go 81 yards for Oklahoma State. And they are able to grab the lead 13-7 over Virginia Tech as the teams head into the locker rooms. Rocky Boyman catching up with Mike Gundy.
Coach, you got the score there right before half, but what are some things you can do in the second half to generate more points?
Well, we got to do a better job on defense of slowing the run down, and then offensively we got to run block a little better. So we just got to make some corrections at halftime.
Now it's clear Virginia Tech's game plan on offense is to slow the game down. What can you do to get them off the field and get the ball back to your offense?
You got to slow down the run in order to give yourself a chance to get back out there. But they're a good running team and they're a good defense. We knew it was going to be a good matchup.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Rocky. In fact, 162 yards rushing for Virginia Tech in the first half. And we'll get you out to Pasadena for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report right after this short break.
Watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
And we welcome you back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. The Orlando Eye, a short distance away from the Camping World Stadium and the Camping World Bowl tonight. Oklahoma State with the lead, a touchdown in the final minute of that first half, 13-7 over Virginia Tech. This is the first matchup of the bowl season between a couple of ranked opponents. Beth Mowins, Anthony Becht, Rocky Boyman is also with us tonight. Virginia Tech did what they wanted to do, run the ball, control the clock, and yet they still find themselves down.
You're right. They had a crucial turnover late on a long drive. I believe it was 18 plays, keeping the ball out of the hands of Oklahoma State's offense. But you've seen when they do get the football, they can get down the field quickly. Low-scoring game. I expect to see in the second half, trying to get a little better against what this rushing attack has been, and also for Oklahoma State, when they get the ball, look for some big explosive plays down the field.
Shedding a couple of tacklers, weaving his way out across the 20 is James Clark. And hauled down at the 31. The keys to the game brought to you by Franklin American Mortgage Company.
Well, you can't make a mistake. When you only have the ball a few times and you're driving down the field, running all those plays, you got to punch it in. Crucial mistake. Oklahoma State takes advantage. And, of course, we talked about it. Up front, defensive line, linebackers, you've got to make the tackles. You got to stop the run, slow it down. 162 rush yards, Beth, on 31 carries in the first half has really been the difference right now in why this score is so low, and Virginia Tech still find themselves close and in this game.
And it was Josh Jackson with a 13-yard touchdown run, the lone score up on the board for the Hokies. Jalen Holston, we've seen Holston, Peoples, and McLeese all in the backfield tonight. Play action, incomplete, and that pass intended to Henry Murphy. Let's check in with Rocky Boyman.
Yeah, guys, I caught up with Justin Fuente. He said, look, our game plan could not have worked out more perfectly in the first half. We just got to finish. Now, defensively, he said they got a couple times caught out of alignment, which led to some of those big plays. They got to make sure their alignments with this quick tempo is where it needs to be.
Thank you, Rocky. Both teams coming in identical 9-3 record, so the winner heading home with a 10-win season. Holston gets the call. Incidentally, Virginia Tech will be coming back to the Sunshine State to start out the new year. Their opener next year is against Florida State, so they'll be jumping right into the ACC.
And this is exactly what the defense of Oklahoma State wanted to do. I think winning on first down was crucial. Well, they've won first and second down. Third and long puts a little more pressure, Beth, on the quarterback to make throws. Right now hasn't connected too well with these young receivers. Let's see who can make a play.
Murphy and Savoy go to the top of the screen. Jackson with time and incomplete out to midfield. Ramon Richards was there. The intended receiver was Henry Murphy, and it's fourth down.
Great coverage on the back end. Played a little bit of a zone man mix there. Able to get some pressure. And again, you don't have to sack the quarterback, Beth, to be effective. But if you get in his face.
On Virginia Tech, fourth down.
A sideline warning there, but against Virginia Tech. But again, if you can just disrupt the action of the throw and then also have good coverage on the back end, that's a recipe for success for Oklahoma State's defense. Well done in the first series of the second half.
Dylan Stoner will head back deep, standing at his own 25-yard line as Oscar Bradburn will kick it away. Good stop for Oklahoma State. There certainly wasn't much ball control that time. And Stoner taken down immediately. Dion Newsom had the coverage, 46 yards on the punt, no return. How about that last drive?
Yeah, I mean, it was Marcel Aitman getting the ball here, but nice job in the pocket by Rudolph. A strong throw to the outside. That's the first pass. And then you go to your big 6'4" receiver on the outside, the fifth-year senior, put up big numbers along with Washington. And then Justice Hill has been a de facto in this game. Almost halfway through his season average, having great balance offensively.
And I expect more of that out of Marcel Aitman this half here. In the first half, Virginia Tech's defense clearly rolling to James Washington. A lot of one-on-one opportunities for Aitman. He's got to take advantage.
Only 3 targets for Washington with 1 catch. Justice Hill, nowhere to go on the near side. That go-ahead drive, by the way, to end that first half, they went 81 yards in just 39 seconds and 4 plays to grab the lead. The end of an era at Oklahoma State. The winningest quarterback in school history, Mason Rudolph, ending his career here tonight. The senior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, and the top passer in the country this year. Rudolph with a flag down will heave it in the general vicinity of Washington, who almost came down with it.
And a little too much time in the backfield in protection, and they're going to get a hold. Talked about a quiet day for Washington. Only 1 catch for no yards, Beth.
Holding. Offense number 60. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Well, there's a former outstanding Cowboy quarterback, and when he talks about Mason Rudolph, he says he's probably the most NFL-ready guy that we've ever had here at Oklahoma State.
He talked about how he does translate. This used to be an air raid offense. Well, they've kind of transitioned out of that, done some RPO things, run pass options, but allowed him to see the coverages and read the field a little more, give him more opportunities to make those play calls and change it up.
On 3rd and 9, they'll extend the drive and a first down throw. The second catch of the day for the Cowboy back, Britton Abbott. He only had 2 all year.
Sometimes when you run plays and you got all these great receivers, you know who you lose track of. The fullback on the inside plays a little tight end. He's kind of that Cowboy back for them. Does a nice job.
Quick hitter to Marcel Aitman out across midfield. Thrown down by Greg Stroman after a gain of 15. And that will put Marcel over 100 yards receiving today. It was fun talking to Mike Gundy about their intentions with this offense and the changes that you referenced over the years to come up with new things. It's going to be a false start here.
False start. Offense number 3. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Said we're looking for space, and we're talking about getting guys into space really, really fast. It's almost like we're playing against a 2-3 zone, and we want to find those openings in the zone. And this is what Gundy talked about watching Pittsburgh and New England last week.
Well, you know, there's always this big disconnect between college, and folks don't see those plays that they see in college. Well, you do see New England, you do see Pittsburgh run these kind of plays, and he believes in Mason Rudolph and what he can do to help a football team.
And there goes Rudolph all the way down inside the 30-yard line and a run of 20.
And that's one thing you wouldn't commonly see out of Mason Rudolph. But what happens is when you get man-to-man coverage and now the backs of all the defenders are running down the field, if there's a gap and a hole, you take off and run. Big play by Rudolph.
Quick to the line. Hill held up by Dion Newsom, and Matua Pawaka coming in to help.
Again, see all the defenders. No one's home. Linebackers getting pulled out by the backs. And you see an opening. It's a good heads-up play by Rudolph. That could come up even more. Again, taking advantage of man-to-man across the board.
18 yards rushing, 182 yards passing so far for Mason. They'll throw it again. Getting some space for James Washington.
Finally get some yards to him. Long arms for this young man. He's only 6 foot, but he's got tremendous reach. And he is fast, excellent at the top of his routes. He can really separate on some of those cuts in and out, comebacks and curls. Pure senior doing a great job.
Rudolph dances away from trouble. Into the end zone, looking for Dylan Stoner, and it's caught for a touchdown.
Making sure, Beth, that Stoner was in. See it from the front side. Great job by Rudolph, just subtle movements. Looks like he secures the ball to his body, not out of the end zone.
Good job by Rudolph to keep that play alive with the scramble. And the quick strike. In under 2.5 minutes, they go 75 yards for a score.
He's adding it to his resume, Beth. He's a little bit of a runner now. I like it.
The score on the last drive of the first half, and now they score on the first drive of the second half to open up the lead.
Mason Rudolph getting it done, keeping his eyes downfield, making a big play to one of his favorite targets, Stoner. And I'll tell you what, going out, 50 school records, this young man's having some fun tonight.
Welcome back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. The skyline of downtown Orlando, Florida for the Camping World Bowl, Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State. And the Cowboys have scored on their last two possessions to open up a 20-7 lead. Mason Rudolph now 15 of 21, 212 yards through the air, and that touchdown pass a moment ago.
And it really started, Beth, with the first series for Oklahoma State's defense. 3 and out. They stop them on first and second down, force the ball in the air with Josh Jackson to pass in long distance situations. Now, if I'm Virginia Tech, I will not panic here. You're down 13. You can stick with the game plan, but you must come through with some points on this drive. Oklahoma State on the verge here of maybe potentially opening this thing up.
Henry Murphy. Capital One Bowl Mania continues tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN with the Valero Alamo Bowl. Bryce Love and Stanford taking on that tough defense at TCU. Tonight's game also available on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. Here's what's at stake for Stanford and the Horned Frogs. David Shaw has been spectacular out on the farm, as has Gary Patterson down in Fort Worth. And Virginia Tech fans, of course, just have to remember last year in the Belk Bowl, down by 24 points. They pulled off the biggest comeback in school history to win it and beat Arkansas. Oh, and speak of the devil. Struggles early. They were down 24-zip. And then everything changed for Gerard Evans in that offense. Trayvon McMillan's TD run put the Hokies up for good, and they would go on to win it. What have they got here against Oklahoma State? Deshaun McCleese. Wrapped up by Calvin Bundage out around the 36-yard line and a gain of 5.
And I like the play calling still. You open up with a run, you get 11 yards. So you're still effective running the football. This game's not out of hand, but again, when you get these long drives, Beth, double plays, 10 plays, 11 plays, you've got to make sure you convert. We've seen the fumble early in the game, missed opportunity. Now again, no need to get nervous or be aggressive here. I think Virginia Tech's got to stay within it, force Oklahoma State to be better against the run. If they're not, continue to hand it off.
Jackson cannot get to the outside. Jordan Brailford ran him down.
Great quickness by Brailford there on the outside, playing defensive end. Nice smile on his face, having fun. It's nice to see some of these big guys, a junior, 6'3", 250. He's got great movement skills, a local product out of Tulsa. And here we go, Beth, 3rd and 6. Passing situation. Can one of these receivers in a 3-by-1 set get themselves open versus Oklahoma State?
3rd and 6. Just a 3-man pressure. Down the middle, caught at midfield for a first down. Patterson working his way down inside the 45, and a collision takes down A.J. Green, the defensive back, after a 22-yard gain.
For injured players.
Patterson on the deep end, Beth, and he might have got away with a hold too.
Helmet right on the knee at the end of the play. We'll be back in a moment.
The Camping World Bowl, brought to you by Camping World, America's #1 RV retailer since 1966. Franklin American Mortgage. It all begins with home. And the Lincoln Wish List Sales Event.
That was earlier today, the Camping World Bowl Parade of Bands in the streets of nearby Winter Park, up just north of downtown. Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State, and the injured player was A.J. Green, the Cowboy defensive back, getting some assistance to the sideline. He's number 4 in black.
Hey, you see Patterson's going to jump up. He gets his hit. I think his own player nicked his helmet with his knee. Number 8.
It's Williams.
That's Vadarius Williams. Hopefully he's back on the field soon, Beth.
Yeah, so now they're both out. Darius Curry at one corner. They moved Ramon Richards over to another. And Morrow is in at safety. 1st and 10. Virginia Tech looking to answer a score from Oklahoma State. The receiver screen, nice cut by Hezekiah Grimsley. All the way down inside the 25, and that was the new safety, Morrow, who missed him.
Yeah, when you come into the game, Beth, you better be ready. And there's an open defender here. Morrow able to make the play. Breaks down great, but great moves by Grimsley. It's a freshman, 6 foot, 172 pounds out of Williamsburg, Virginia. And again, he's got some great movement skills, and that's what you got to do. Make a move, make a player miss, and get up the field.
With the poor tackling by Oklahoma State's defense, all Virginia Tech has to do is complete the ball. If you're Josh Jackson, just get the ball to your wide receiver, let them make some moves and pick up yardage.
They got 17 yards there. On first down, the hand up, right up the middle. And another first down run for McLeese. All the way down to the 10.
I've been impressed with McLeese in this game. Started the game for them. They've mixed in several backs. You've seen Power with Peoples, and now McLeese getting in a little more in the action. 79 yards right now in the game. 193 total so far.
1st and goal. Tight end Chris Cunningham lining up in the backfield. McLeese will run his way and interrupted by Enoch Smith.
Say the big man, 295 pounds, chasing down a very shifty and quick running back in McLeese. It's a nice job by him, and that's what you want to do. You want to push them back on first down. Win on first down. When we've seen Oklahoma State win on first down, that's when they've been successful.
Loss of 5 there, 2nd and goal. Play action. Catch is made down inside the 10 by Grimsley. Well, they get that yardage back, and then 1. Going to be 3rd and goal. Calvin Bundage with the tackle.
Better job by Bundage. We saw him several times come up in the backfield, Should have had a bunch of tackles for losses. Didn't break down right there. Much better in space. Bringing down number 19, Grimsley.
Grimsley and Kuma to the top of the screen. Cunningham motions that way. To the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Eric Kuma took it away from Richards.
It's an amazing catch. I almost felt like Richards was running the route for him, but the long arms and the strength. Number 83, Kuma, that's a great job. 6'2", 220, the biggest receiver on the roster. And that's just, I want it more than you right there. Takes it away from Richards. It's a heck of a turn of events there. A big play, something Virginia Tech desperately needed in the passing game.
9 plays, 79 yards in just under 5 minutes. Sly with the extra point. Out of the hold of Oscar Bradburn. And it is good. The response from Virginia Tech, they answer with a touchdown of their own. Kuma wins the tug of war. 20-14 Pokes. Welcome back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. When you're stars like Anthony and Rocky, this is what you get everywhere we travel. They get their own camper to tailgate in and to get ready pregame.
We were looking to make an investment, maybe. Okay, that's what we're doing. We did the walkthrough. Me and Rocky, we like that particular RV, right, Rocky?
Yeah, well, what did Tamara Ward tell us? That was the toy hauler. Had a place where the bed moves up and you can pull in your motorcycle or your ATV.
Really nice. Tamara Ward, the executive VP of corporate development. She's the gal to talk to get the deals. That's what I was told. So I gotta butter up a little bit and see if I can get a discount.
We had a great time last night. Special dinner with the athletic directors and the school presidents. Good time was had by all. I believe we count 7 courses.
Plus some dessert.
Whew, took a little bite out of me, I'm not going to lie.
Well, we had one dessert, and I thought we were done. Then a second course of desserts came. So people were pushing the desserts towards me like I wanted some extra. Do I look like a guy that may eat more than 2 courses of desserts?
If you get a chance to sprinkle some pistachio crumbles on a sweet potato gratin, you should do it. 20-14, Oklahoma State scores. Virginia Tech responds in kind. And it's a 1-possession game, 6:24 to go here in the third. Mason Rudolph. Cowboys have scored their last 2 possessions. And another record, 50 plus now for Mason Rudolph. He broke Brandon Whedon's single-season school record for yards in a year.
It's amazing. I mean, that is a tall feat. Just dialed in at the position and throwing strikes. I love the separation. You see Washington, he's so open. He's just so crisp out of his breaks. He's got that space, and he's able to catch a clean ball. It's just a great operation when those two are on the same page.
Rudolph has already broken one of Barry Sanders' school records, responsible for 45 touchdowns this year coming into the bowl game. Justice Hill had a terrific start in that first quarter. They've been able to hold him in check since. That was Deion Newsom tripping him up.
It's a heck of a play in the backfield. Deion Newsom coming down, making that play, tripping him up. Again, behind the sticks on second down.
Play action from Rudolph. Going over the top. Washington with a step on the defender, and he is gone. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Just a matter of time, Beth. We were waiting. 1 catch for 0 yards in the first half. He's shaking his head. You're right, he should be, because that's one heck of a job by Mason Rudolph. Perfect ball. I mean, are you not impressed by his deep ball ability, the accuracy that he throws it with, and 65 yards. Unbelievable.
And for James Washington, his 5th touchdown this season of over 60 yards. Rudolph, his 8th touchdown throw this year of 50 or better. And that one didn't take long. Quick strike. OK State.
Inside receiver. He just runs by him. I mean, there's no safety help. It looked like corner Reggie Floyd. Just, listen, Washington doesn't have superior speed, but when he's in the game and he's got that motor running, he sees the open area, runs by him. These two are connected for some way, some reason. They've made some big plays over the years, and 2 seniors going out with a bang.
And Oklahoma State fans have seen that throw all season. Such an impressive ability to just loft the ball just enough and allow his receiver Washington to run underneath it. But from down here tonight, guys, the most impressive thing is seeing he can make every type of throw. A lot of quarterbacks, they can gun one in there, but Mason Rudolph can do it all. He can shoot one out to the outside, but he can also do that nice touch pass with the deep ball.
That is now 2 touchdown drives of over 75 yards in under a minute. 65-yard touchdown toss. Rudolph to Washington. Cowboy fans were probably hoping they'd see 1 or 2 of those today as a send-off, a proper send-off for what they've been able to do over the course of their careers. Javon Quillen is the deep band, and that will go over his head and through the back of the end zone. The Progressive Bowl Challenge Cup is here in Orlando at the Camping World Bowl. There's a good look at it. Again, this year, the trophy will be awarded to the conference that has the highest winning percentage in the postseason. And as we take a look at the trophy down on the field tonight, here's a look at this year's standings as they stand to date. You see the ACC and the Big 12 are both 2-2. Big 10 with a couple of wins at the top. The SEC, the 1 loss, they're just getting started. They have 8 bowls remaining. Of course, Clemson out of the ACC, the #1 seed in the playoff. Oklahoma out of the Big 12, the 2 seed in the playoff. Rocky?
And someone's got to figure out a way to get some juice back in this Virginia Tech sideline. After that touchdown, they were fired up. The Virginia Tech faithful behind them, behind the bench there, really into that game. Then Mason Rudolph just sucked all that energy back out. They got to find a way to get some back here.
You got to have a short-term memory when you play Oklahoma State, right? They're going to make plays. I mean, you can't just completely shut them down. You got to make sure they don't make them every single drive when they get the football. But again, you're still in this football game if you have a chance, but you've got to make sure you answer every score. If not, they're that fast that they can score at any moment.
Now receiver screen there to Phil Patterson. Going to bring up 3rd down. And a 3rd and 7 from their own 27.
Haven't seen pressure on 3rd down yet. A lot of coverage. Again, forcing the receivers to make plays. Can these 4 defensive linemen disrupt the throwing lane of Josh Jackson?
Jackson steps up, he'll run for it, and he'll get it. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line and a gain of 8.
Well, when you have a mobile quarterback, if you don't keep gap integrity, you see 2 guys next to each other on the right, and that gap opens up. It makes it easy for the quarterback to run the football down the field. So as much as you want to get up the field, you've got to maintain your gap integrity so that those lanes do not open up.
And Oklahoma State still working without its 2 starting corners, Williams and Green, out right now. Deshaun McClease is the offset back. McClease with a nice burst across midfield and into Cowboy territory down to the 46.
He's been special tonight. I really like this guy. I mean, he is like a ball of fire coming out of that backfield. As soon as he gets that handoff, he is churning his legs up and down the field. 6.6 yards average here tonight. Just a few yards under 100 yards. He's been a difference maker, changing the field so far in the second half for this team.
Just ran for 18 there. On 1st and 10, an 8-yard link with Grimsley from Josh Jackson. 11 for 19 now for Josh. Three minutes to go here in the third. Oklahoma State has scored on its last 3 possessions. Virginia Tech trying to keep up. Jackson will run, get back to the line of scrimmage, and there's a flag down behind him. And it will be against Virginia Tech.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
Braxton Pfaff, the right guard.
He seems to disagree with that call, throwing his hands up. Again, 2nd and long. It's an opportunity for Oklahoma State in a potential passing situation here to defend up and try to hold them here. If they can get them and keep them in 3rd and long, they get the advantage, but they must have a stop on 2nd down.
Jackson will roll. Incomplete. Ramon Richards had his hands on it for Oklahoma State.
He's all over it.
And there you go. Push-ups.
Yeah, well, he remembered the last one he should have had in the end zone when it got pulled away from him. That one right there makes a great play on the football, anticipating this. Comes off his guy and jumps back. 2 receivers kind of in the same spot, Beth. I'm not quite sure that's the distribution and routes you want to have, but he's able to play in space on both sides to make a great play.
Trey Flowers is his buddy that came over and made him do the push-ups for the drop.
Hold him accountable.
Yeah, 3rd and 12. Jackson with the time, and now running out of it. Ball down by Jordan Brailford, and it's 4th down.
Brailford coming on here. See some speed and quickness chasing down the quarterback. Forcing 4th down. They had an underneath route, but it wasn't going to be enough to get the 1st down, Beth. Josh Jackson trying to find an open receiver. Great coverage on 3rd and long by Oklahoma State's defense. Always be prepared, Beth, for fakes.
And here is one. Chase Muma will throw, and it is caught. 1st down, Virginia Tech.
I don't want to say I sniffed that out, but in a situation like this, you got a couple weeks to prepare. You got to know the situation. The normal punter wasn't in the game there. So you got to understand who that number is. Number 95 comes in.
Chase Muma, yep, to Anthony Shagag.
Makes a nice pass there. I'll tell you, that was a perfectly timed play. Oklahoma State not ready for it.
22 yards to keep this drive alive. McLeese. And with that carry, McLeese should go over 100 yards.
He's tough to tackle, man. I tell you, he is so fast through the line of scrimmage into the 2nd level of the defense. I mean, he is showing out today for Virginia Tech at the running back position.
15 carries for 100 yards now. Close to 7 per rush.
A lot of his yards, Beth, are inside. He's a $190.
Yep.
So maybe a plays for Peoples at a bigger back. He's doing the same thing and is effective inside.
Spinning in the backfield, and he's got the 1st down.
Amazing.
One thing about McLeese, with his 5'9" size, with maybe a stretch, he kind of gets down. He can hide behind those offensive linemen. Then he has the quickness. Once he sees the daylight, boom, he just hits it. He's hard to find.
Sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia. His carries have gone up the last few games. Only played 1 game last year, was out with a shoulder injury. Jackson, incomplete, looking for Patterson.
Win on first down. I'll be honest with you, I would have rather seen a run there. They've been having some success on first down runs. I know they've done it and they continue to do it, and they've shown it, but they haven't been stopped on it. Now 2nd and 10. You could run it here, potentially get some yards, but potentially as a passing down now. You start this series off with 2 passes. It's not what Virginia Tech has done in this game.
As Rocky Boyman looks on from beyond the end zone, the 12th play of this drive for Virginia Tech. It's more McLeese, tackled by Darius Curry, and that'll probably take care of the 3rd quarter. To the 4th we go. Camping World Bowl here in Orlando, and Oklahoma State takes the lead into the last. 27-14, Virginia Tech threatening. Welcome back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Nice night here in Orlando, Florida. And for Oklahoma State, scores on 3 straight possessions to take the lead, 27-14. We welcome you up here in the booth. This is our spotter all year long, BJ Casserly, our top-notch
my man, BJ.
Stat man Rustalin right over here in the shadows. Beth Mullins, Anthony Beck, Rocky Boyman. It has been so much fun being with you all year long, and looking to end it with a thriller tonight. Virginia Tech back in the red zone, threatening to turn this back into a 1-score game. Play action, Jackson, end zone, incomplete. Kuma, who's already got 1 touchdown catch, could not haul that one in.
Just leads him a little too far out in front of him. It's a nice route by Kuma. Oh man, gotta pull that in. Big game. I know it's obviously a tough catch, but opportunity there. Wasted. 4th and 8, Beth. Gotta go for it.
Jackson had trouble finding the football, and he's going to be thrown down for a massive loss all the way back to the 34. And a disconnect between he and his center, Eric Gallo.
Truly worst case scenario, 4th and 8, trying to draw something up. You're down in deep in the red zone. It looks like he just launches it. One, a little too hard, but to the left. Jackson not able to handle it. And you saw the center, he had to block hard to the right. That looked like it turned his body as he was trying to get off the ball quickly and make that block, and it torqued his hand to the left side and just came a little low and too hard.
A 16-yard loss on 4th down, so that's 2 trips today into the red zone. A bad snap and a fumble. And costly ones for Virginia Tech. And now they've got to figure out a way to try and slow down Mason Rudolph and this offense for Oklahoma State. They are on fire. James Washington with the grab.
The matchup of the day, Stroman versus Washington. And this is the series. Look at the reach here. The long arms. He goes and catches the ball. I love the fact that the receivers don't let the ball get in their body. The good ones get their hands out in front and make the catch.
35 yards there for Washington. And now he goes over 100 yards receiving as well. 5 catches for $126. As an injured player gets some attention, that's Trayvon Hill. Let's take a closer look at Washington.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the catch radius, extension of the arms. When the ball's out in front or away from his body, he uses his hands. I'm telling you, he's just able to get that football at 6 foot. Footwork, in and out of the breaks. He is pure as it comes. A senior, he's caught a ton of balls, and guess what? He's an explosive playmaker. You saw him earlier tonight make a big catch, blow by the defense. You know, to me, when you look at him at the next level, he reminds me a little bit of Golden Tate in the NFL. A guy that, not big time speed, but's got tremendous catch, yards after the catch ability, and just a baller, just a player that goes out there, he's accountable, he knows where he's going to be, he plays with great physicality. It's a pleasure to watch him on film.
And watching it is the anti-diva wide receiver at a pretty diva position. Mike Gundy told us yesterday he wins the Biletnikoff on a Friday. He's back out of practice Saturday morning.
Rudolph sacked. Ricky Walker got him. You saw James Washington became the school's all-time leading receiver. He passed Rashawn Woods. Not bad for a guy who only had 1 catch the entire first half, did not have a receiving yard, and now 4 catches, including a 65-yard touchdown catch here in the second half.
That this may be the key series for Virginia Tech's defense. The frequency of plays, the big playability. If they can stop Oklahoma State, it's been hard in the second half. They have a shot, but right now, behind the 8 ball with this powerful offense.
Rudolph. Nice cut by Justice Hill and an even better open field tackle by Tremaine Edmonds. This is what Todd McShay thinks draft-wise for some of these players. Rudolph and Washington both top 10 at their position.
Yep, Crabtree at the tackle. Aitman is there. You know, these guys will all get to prove their worth. 90% of it's going to be on film, no question, but they'll have combines, they'll meet with the coaches, they'll have their individual workouts to raise the bar at what they're doing so far in the college ranks.
On 3rd and 14, underneath. Jalen McCleskey down to the 30. That's going to be a couple yards shy, and it's 4th down. Offense initially staying out there.
An injured player, I think, for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they're
number 6. It's at Reynolds.
Luke Reynolds.
Looks like he's okay.
Luke, the junior from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Well, 4th and 2, Oklahoma State was ready to go on the line of scrimmage and run a play. It looks like they're going to bring their offense out here and really try to seal the deal here on. But the one thing, too, you got to be prepared for is snap count if you're Virginia Tech. Don't get a cheap one here. You're going to try to want to come off the ball. Watch the football, especially the 2 big guys right next to it at the defensive tackle position.
Out of the pistol. And out of the backfield, and it's dropped.
Wow.
Sione Fine Feuiaki had it, couldn't hold on. And Tech will take over on downs.
Perfectly called play. They got a subtle pick on the outside by the wide receiver. Sneak the fullback out. He's wide open. I mean, look at that play. Missed opportunity for Oklahoma State.
Well, tonight after the Valero Alamo Bowl on ESPN, stick around for Sports Center with SVP. He'll be breaking down Bryce Love's big season at Stanford. Also a big test for a couple of title contenders, Celtics and Rockets, and a special look back at the best oh no moments of 2017 at Sports Center tonight on ESPN. Coming up next will be Stanford and TCU in that Valero Alamo Bowl. And then a huge weekend on tap. So off of the 4th down stop, more room to roam for Deshaun McClease. Rocky?
And right there shows why that stop was so important, because Virginia Tech can stay within their game plan of slowing the clock down, keeping the Oklahoma State offense on the sideline. At 13 points, you can do that. Oklahoma State goes up by 20. Now you got to start hurrying up and taking shots down the field.
Exactly right, Rocky. They can stick with the game plan, but again, as this clock starts winding down, you've got to make sure you get dialed in and score on this drive.
I'll fake the jet sweep. Jackson. Kuma incomplete. Richards had the coverage.
And Kuma's going to be open here on this route. If the ball's delivered accurately to the outside, they have a catch, but Josh Jackson rolling out. Remember, folks, he's a redshirt freshman. He's working on his game. He's done a lot of great things this year for Virginia Tech. 9 wins so far. But again, those are the little things he'll continue to work on as a quarterback, but well ahead of where he needs to be.
We talked earlier about his connection with Michigan and his father, Fred, and a chance in the preseason to talk with Tom Brady, Patriots quarterback, about the position and what it takes to succeed. McLeese wide open out of the backfield. Took a shot from Bundage, and a flag is down in the backfield.
Holding. Offense number 62. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
That's Planton. DeAndre Planton with the hold. And again, you can't have these now. You know, 2nd and 20.
Yeah.
Not a lot you can call in your playbook here. And this is not where they excel offensively, backed up like this.
Second and 20, and looking to run with it all the way. Hit at the 50. Trey Flowers. Good pop out of the defensive backfield.
Trey Flowers, all Big 12 selection. Big time hitter in the box. Whitener, haven't heard much from him, but these two guys really impact players for this defense. It's a little bit different brand of football in the Big 12, Beth. A lot of passing today. They're having to convert their mindsets versus the heavy run game. 3rd and long. Oklahoma State's been successful in this down and distance when defending Virginia Tech.
Four-man pressure. Jackson across the middle, caught for the first down inside the 40-yard line. And that's C.J. Carroll.
The guy hasn't got a touch. Look at all the defenders standing up here trying to go different ways to confuse the line of scrimmage. One leaks through, but Josh Jackson does a nice job threading the needle, understanding where the ball needs to go, and delivering an accurate pass.
They knew it would be all hands on deck for the receiving corps without Cam Phillips, and they've shown up so far tonight. Incomplete, looking for Henry Murphy.
Kid's been special. Career leader in yards, receptions. Played the entire season, Beth, with a sports hernia.
Yeah.
He didn't just get it. He's had it all year. Look at those numbers. I mean, he's been the playmaker of this offense. The fact that they're able to come in and do what they're doing today just shows the other guys stepping in, understanding their roles for Virginia Tech.
Eric Kuma now the wide receiver out of the game, but Phil Patterson, top of your screen. Look for maybe to try to go to him deep here.
Empty set. Jackson sliding close to the first down marker. The statistical difference is staggering. It's almost 30 more plays for Virginia Tech, almost 20 more minutes of possession time for Virginia Tech, but those two miscues down inside the 10-yard line have proved costly.
And remember, when the quarterback slides, it's where the ball is, not where he ends up and gets touched. So loses a couple yards there on sliding just a little too early.
They've still got 9.5 to work with.
And this is definitely 4-down territory, Beth, obviously.
Jackson, intercepted. Picked off by Darius Curry. And shoved out of bounds at the 35-yard line. It went through the hands of Patterson, and Curry was right there. And he takes it 30 yards the other way.
It's a simple hitch route. And Josh Jackson's going to have a little inaccuracy here throwing the football. Runs up, sits and turns. Josh Jackson, I believe, felt his receiver was going to continue to come towards him. When he comes out of it, he turned and sat. Poor throw, gets tipped up. Big play by Darius Curry with the interception.
The Camping World Bowl, brought to you by Camping World, America's #1 RV retailer since 1966. And the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
That's the biggest scoring play of them all. That last one, 65 yards. Mason Rudolph to James Washington. And a 27-14 Oklahoma State lead over Virginia Tech. 9:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. And Rudolph and Oklahoma State have it in Hokie territory from the 46. Rudolph hands off to Justice Hill. Justice picks up 5 more. He's got 71 now on the night. Leading rusher in the Big 12 this year. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He should be primed to start out next year as one of the best coming back in college football. Had that monster game in Bedlam against Oklahoma with 228 yards, a school record in Bedlam for OSU. Rudolph trying to take the top off. Looking for Washington, incomplete. Let's take a closer look at that interception and break it down with Becht.
Well, you know, everybody wants to throw it on the quarterback. Let's watch the receiver. He's going to run a route and come back to the quarterback. The thing is with the receivers, if you're going to come back running to the quarterback. If you're going to sit, turn and sit. He kind of is in between and wishy-washy at the top of his stem. That's the disconnect. A young receiver coming in the game with 2 catches. He's a redshirt freshman. They haven't worked that much during the season, so you can't just necessarily throw it on Josh Jackson. Both of those guys don't have the reps, and you see that when it's not refined at the top of the route, Beth, you have mistakes.
Hill tries to get around the edge, and flags are flying as a helmet comes off. Tyron Johnson got tangled up with one of the DBs, Greg Stroman.
After the play was over, there were offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct fouls on each team. Number 3 on the defense, number 13 on the offense. That is each player's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. The result of the play was a first down.
These 2 guys just, going hard at each other. Stroman doesn't like to get blocked. Good DBs don't like the receiver's hands getting on him. Gets broken up. Stroman, listen, he's the team MVP. Voted by the team. First team All-ACC. Excellent punt return. 6 career returns for touchdowns, Beth. That's interceptions and kickoff punt returns as well. He's had a heck of a career at Virginia Tech.
Senior out of Bristol, Virginia, as Hill tries to cut it back, and he is hammered by Reggie Floyd.
We talked about that and being on the same page. Josh comes up to him. They're talking about the route. I think he's telling him, listen, I thought maybe you come out of the route tough. You kind of came, it's a little wishy-washy coming at the top. I love it, though. They're talking to each other. He's not blaming or pointing any fingers, but 2 young guys. They're going to have bright futures here at Virginia Tech trying to work it out, but it just came at a ultra-critical time for Virginia Tech.
On second down, Rudolph. Incomplete. Matuapawaka had the coverage there, and that was intended for Hill coming out of the backfield. It's 3rd down.
Tell you what, it's not over right now for Virginia Tech. They hold right here. They get the ball back and maybe find a way to get a big play. They're right back in this game with 7:34 to go.
3rd and long. These receivers, they'll play a mixture of man-to-man. Stroman at the top of the screen. He's on top of James Washington right here. That's a matchup that's been going on all day.
Hill cut down around the 31-yard line by Floyd. And that'll bring up 4th down after a gain of 5.
Looks like they feel good about this offensively to stay on the field and run a play. Make a couple moves here, bring in some more receivers, spread it out a little bit.
Set to go on 4th down.
A lot of space, Beth, at the bottom of the screen here. They need 6 yards. See where Rudolph goes.
3-man pressure, and they get heat on the quarterback, and he's sacked at the 39. Houchen Gaines, who's replacing the injured Vinny Mahota today, a loss of 8.
Watch the speed of the outside rushers, man. They just come off flying, doing a great job. And they needed this. Virginia Tech, Rocky just said it. If they could make a stop and get the ball back, they decide to go it on 4th down. Virginia Tech defense steps up with the big play.
Oklahoma, Georgia, and Clemson, Alabama. New Year's Day on ESPN.
Yeah, we welcome you back to the Camping World Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Of course, all leading up to those playoff affairs on New Year's Day. Can Virginia Tech overcome some costly mistakes today?
Yeah, the big fumble in the first half. This was huge on the half-yard line, about to punch it in. And the 4th down, the poor snap, getting knocked back on downs. And, of course, that last series, an interception thrown by Josh Jackson. And those 3 plays ultimately have kept them down and not able to score the points that they want. But, again, Beth, 6 minutes, down 2 scores. Yep. Got a shot.
And it will have to be the redshirt freshman, Josh Jackson, to lead them as he misfires to C.J. Carroll, 2nd and 10.
And he takes a big hit, Beth, on that pass. So they got to protect for him. Obviously, this is a known series here where they're going to be passing the football. You're not going to get too many runs with 6:42 left in this football game. They're going to have to get some chunks of yards quickly.
I think they got to take a shot here at some point, try to pick up some chunk yards and try to put this Oklahoma State defense back on its heels a bit.
Jackson gets this one out quickly and shoved out of bounds as Patterson. Gain of 7 there, stops the clock, 6:37 to go. And the conversion for a 1st down across midfield. It's C.J. Carroll to move the chains.
You know, Rocky talked about taking a shot, and the receiver that they have a chance with is at the bottom here, number 83. That's Kuma. He's 6'2". He had the nice touchdown grab earlier. You got tight coverage on him. You can win on one-on-one outside and get a good pass. You may be able to get a good play.
Jackson rifles this one down to the 36-yard line, and it's Kuma and a gain of 14.
Runs a deep comeback, getting past the defender. Almost you may be trying to set him up there. Next time you run right by him with a little stop and go, but nice job there. Quarterback communicating with the receiver on the same page.
Good for another 1st down. McLeese with a nice block to buy some time, and it is caught by Kuma inside the 5.
Yeah, he caught it. Richards got his hands all over him, and his head is away from the quarterback. Can't imagine they'll call this offensive, but again, a little shake inside. Richards is there, but he grabs him. Both of them got their hands on each other, but
defense number 7. Penalty is declined.
But Richards cannot grab the offensive player.
What a job, too, by Kuma to get a foot down. 31-yard strike. And now do you start working a little Deshaun McLeeser, who's got a season high 124 yards rushing.
It's that formation. They had that read option.
Jackson keeps back to the end zone. No, to Chris Cunningham.
Thought he had Cunningham there really early, but a lot of defenders in front of him blocked his vision there.
This snap will be the 81st play of the night for Virginia Tech. Oklahoma State with just 54 of them, but Cowboys have the lead. Jackson reaching for the goal line. Waiting for an official. There it is, touchdown.
That was a determined run. There was nothing cute about that. He caught the ball, delayed a second, and just said, I'm going to try to steamroll right through the offensive line. The question is, did he cross the goal line before he gets down? It looks like he pulls that arm over with the ball, crosses the line of scrimmage, but this is just all one, all grit. Great job by the lineman. See Planton, Pfaff there, 62 and 74.
That ruling is under further review.
They're going to take a look at it, a scoring play here, but
not much there on that picture, Beth, but he just finds a way. I'll tell you, he's a tough kid, redshirt freshman.
he's got 2 rushing touchdowns tonight, Anthony, 1 throwing.
Whitener gives him a big shot at the goal line, too. Again, he waves it with the ball in his arm. He kind of cocks it around, torques it. Looks like to me that's over the white as he's doing that before he goes down and takes that shot. Can't imagine much there, Beth, that would.
If it holds, we got a 1-score game, and America gets what it wants.
That's it.
It gets the OK State offense against the Virginia Tech defense, strength on strength.
I love it.
For the final 5:40.
After further review, the ruling on the field of touchdown stands.
Gotta love the fight, Beth. But Virginia Tech, they will not give up. They will not go away. Just when you think the defense for Virginia Tech might have an issue, they make a stop and they answer.
The coach's kid has a hand in all 3 scores tonight for Tech. Extra point for Sly to make it a 6-point game. Got it. Jackson takes care of business. Mason Rudolph, you got next. Oh, the ESPN app is a fan's best friend. You can stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights of all the bowl games. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now. Navy a winner over Virginia earlier today. We got a good one brewing here in Orlando, and coming up next, the Valero Alamo Bowl. 3 more bowls for you tomorrow, 4 on Saturday, and then a massive New Year's Day, including the national semifinals. So here we go. It's a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, toe-to-toe. First 4 drives, not much doing for Gundy's Cowboys. Then they scored touchdowns on 3 straight possessions, but in the last 2, stymied again.
And to me, Beth, where's Justice Hill? He's a guy that rushed for 60-plus yards in the first half. They've rarely gone with him. They've been embracing the pass game, but I think this kid right here, he becomes the difference maker for this offense.
5:40 to go, both sides with 3 timeouts. Both sides looking for a 10th win of the season here tonight. Rocky?
If I'm Bud Foster, I start bringing some pressure right here. This year when Rudolph has been pressured, that's when he's made mistakes. This is the time to do it, try to get him out of his rhythm.
31 years at Virginia Tech. Nobody's been around longer than Bud. And this is Chris Lacey with the catch out to the 40 and a first down.
They're taking that cushion. You got cushion on the outside. He's coming right to it with those quick stop routes. They're easy pitch and catches for Oklahoma State.
And on the other side, number 1 in the country in passing yards this year, Mason Rudolph, responsible for over 45 touchdowns. And the winningest quarterback in Cowboy history. Hill dancing, darting, and spinning his way out across midfield.
He's the guy, Beth. I'm going to put my chips, push them all out on the table, and I'm going to lean on Hill a little bit. I just feel like he's been tough all day. Again, not much here. Sets up his blocker, breaks tackles. Look, Virginia Tech's one of the best tackling teams in the country. This kid's a true sophomore.
20 carries now for 93 yards. And a 1-yard touchdown run tonight. Rudolph over the head of Stoner, incomplete, second down.
That was so fast. Check left, check right, throw the ball. He's had a really special night tonight. I've just been impressed with his down the field passing. I mean, when you get to the next level, you got to be able to complete those deep balls. It's such a big part of teams changing the game, and he's been able to do that. And then this young man, the will and determination, red shirt freshman, plays well above his years.
Stoner in motion. Rudolph looks that way, and they throw the screen the other way to Hill, and he's got nowhere to go. Houchen Gaines got there first, and it's third down.
Well, you know, nice idea here, and there's nobody home. I mean, Hill's trying to get out. He makes a nice move to get back inside, but that's where all the defenders are. This is a play of the game right here. 3rd and 10, Beth. I say if there's one weakness to try to go at, it's the middle of the field. Number 17 in the slot, number 1 McClaskey right here, and number 17 in the slot. Work in the middle. See if Mason Rudolph gets enough time. Rocky talked about heating it up. Biggest play of the game.
They're going to run it with Hill. Hill slicing inside the 40, and he breaks it loose. Shoved out of bounds at the 20-yard line. First down, Cowboys.
I just doubled down on my chips, Beth. I'll tell you what, this kid is special. I'll tell you, how about the aggressiveness to actually call this play and make it happen? And look, there's some defenders in a position to make tackle, but you see the burst and the speed. Wow.
31 yards, Rocky.
And Virginia Tech defensively played off. They didn't come after it. They weren't aggressive right there. They were soft. They hand that ball to Justice Hill, and he runs downhill like he has all night.
Hill will come off for a play. The play clock's winding down here on Rudolph, down to 1. They get it off, and they run it with J.D. King for a yard. Under 3 minutes to go, and it's the return now of Justice Hill.
Yep. Virginia Tech's going to call timeout, Beth.
.252 to go. Reminder that Allstate is proud to be a part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds. For each field goal and extra point kicked, to date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds.
Look at these numbers, Beth. I mean, you're talking about triple digits across the board. Mason Rudolph, it was a slow start, but he has picked it up, getting close to his average. Justice Hill with the big run there. He's over his average. So many weapons, and you got to credit Virginia Tech just hanging around with that, because at any point you can get a big explosive play held on you. But I will say this, the red zone is where Virginia Tech excels as a defense. Let's see if Mason Rudolph can make something happen.
Number 1 in the country in the red zone defensively, and Hill taken down. Matua Puwaka got him. And Virginia Tech will call its second timeout. 27-21. Here's how we got here in the second half.
A lot of skill sets, a lot of things getting checked off the boxes here for Rudolph. Movement out of the pocket, and then, oh yeah, what about the other quarterback, Josh Jackson? These guys have been dueling back and forth, making big plays, keeping their team in the game. And this is what we wanted, Beth, a great matchup, 2 great offenses, 2 great defense. Everybody's just coming together. It's been a fun night here at the Camping World Bowl.
Now for tonight's Capital One player of the game, it's Mason Rudolph. The senior, 351 yards through the air with a couple of touchdowns. He'd like to get another one here. 3rd and 9. Final 2.5 minutes. They'll run with Hill. Matua Puwaka again able to get into the backfield, and it's 4th down.
Bud Foster says Matua Puwaka epitomizes Virginia Tech Hokie as a player. He just does everything for them. Stepped up. He's had a fantastic career, and isn't it defining? He makes a big tackle there on 3rd down.
So here we go. They're going to attempt the field goal here to make it a 9-point game, a 2-score game. But of course, whenever you're talking about Virginia Tech and all the Beamer Ball years, and now with Justin Fuente as well, you got to be concerned with the block, 6 of them for this Virginia Tech special teams unit.
You're right, and they work on special teams more than anybody in the country. And listen, you've got to spend that extra time. I'm sure Oklahoma State has spent that time this week to make sure that when this scenario comes up just like this, it's blocked perfectly. So let's watch this opportunity here for Oklahoma State to go up potentially 9.
Matt Amendola's hit twice. This try from 38. Signer with the hold. The kick is on its way, and it scoots inside the right upright.
That was tight. Heck of a job.
And it's a 9-point lead, 2:34 to go.
This is about as close as you can be, Ben. Just on the inside. But when it goes through, it's good.
Looked like right here it was going to turn away to the right, and it held its course.
I'd say he played the wind, but those flags aren't moving, so I don't know. A little extra spin on the ball off the foot, but no emotion out of Gundy. He knew it was going to go through the whole time.
And now, not just the clock, but the timeout situation. None left for Virginia Tech. And they're down 9.
We're going to see the redshirt freshman Josh Jackson work this 2-minute offense now. Be 100% passes, in my opinion. He's loosening up his arm. He's had a great day. He's got a bright future, this young man. An excellent start to his career this year, leading his football team to 9 wins so far. It's been a great matchup, Beth.
He has responded. Mason Rudolph has responded, engineering that scoring drive to get 3 up there and make it a 2-score game. Justice Hill had a big 31-yard run on that last drive on a 3rd down conversion, and that kept things going for the Cowboys. James Clark is the deep man here. He'll bring it out from inside the 5. Upended, shy of the 20. Reminder that fans can tune into ESPN3 for the post-game trophy ceremony tonight, presented by Capital One. That is immediately following the game. The Camping World Bowl. Oklahoma State and Virginia Tech, they're getting things ready for that post-game. Cowboys and Mike Gundy. A 3rd 10-win season in a row in their grasp. That would be the best stretch in school history. Jackson. Outside throw and a missed opportunity to get out of bounds right there by Patterson. A gain of 9.
A lot of young receivers, again, understanding the situation. Every second is valuable, especially when you're down 2 scores, Beth.
Precious seconds ticking away. 2:08 to go. And this time Patterson will step out. Pretty good cushion over there from Darius Curry. Gain of 8.
And here comes Kuma at the bottom of the screen back in. Remember, he's the downfield threat for this offense today with no Cam Phillips playing in the football game.
Jackson buying time. Roaming. Looking for Kuma, incomplete. Got a flag down on the opposite side of the field.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 52. That penalty's declined. Third down.
That was DeAndre Planton.
I know we talked about Kuma. He just ran a comeback route. He's got off coverage, but there is a small window. If he runs that go route and he gets behind, I think they got a chance to stick it in there when they're in a 2-by-2 set. Now in their trip set.
I think they have to switch the
That's second down.
Second down, yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That, or they're looking for a little TV time here in bowl season.
The yard marker
Correction,
still shows
second
third.
down. Second down.
We still show it as second on our screen here. And now we're ready to go. Jackson swings it to the side, and a good tackle by Ramon Richards to keep Carroll in bounds. Short gain, just 5 yards.
And you're in these 3rd and 5s in this area, middle of the field to me, on that trip side, the 2 inside receivers at the top, try to find a window.
That's caught for the first down. Grimsley's got it.
Got to get up on the line here quickly and get this offense going. I'd try 83 at the bottom. I'd try to take a shot right now. One time, run by him. You got to take one here. If he doesn't get it, stops the clock. But you need some play quickly.
Jackson. Hit from behind as he throws, and it's caught inside the 30-yard line by Grimsley. Clock stopped with 1 minute to go.
It's a heck of a job. Well done keeping your eyes downfield and extending plays with your legs. So hard when you're moving around to take your eyes and keep them down the field. He does a nice job of that. It's the redshirt freshman.
26-yard gain there. Jackson dropped. They were looking to McLeese for the screen.
Better it did.
Probably better off, yeah.
Better it did. I'd say at this point, you got to start looking down the field. Again, those short dink and dunks aren't going to help you with no timeouts left unless you're converting a first down, Beth. So again, if it's not there, just throw it away. Stops the clock.
55 seconds, no timeouts for Virginia Tech. They need to score and then get an onside kick.
Be prepared to, if you have this off coverage and you start working the inside, if you get the first down with no timeouts, I think you got a clock right away. A lot of times in college, Beth, you see these teams try to run a play quickly. Got to get that one spiked.
Jackson in trouble. Sacked by Bundage. Clock rolling.
He's been active today. He's missed a couple opportunities in the first half in the backfield, but he's really get dialed in the second half. And obviously in a passing situation, Beth, and you know it's coming, they're able to tee off on their pass rush.
Loss of 8, 3rd and 18, all the way back outside the 35. Jackson. Kuma breaks a tackle to get out of bounds. 19 seconds to go.
Last opportunity here, Beth, 4th down.
4th and 9. They need to get to the 18-yard line. Jackson heaves it towards the end zone. Broken up, incomplete, and the Cowboys will take over with 11 seconds to go. Gundy discards one set of headgear and puts on another. And a 10-3 season for Oklahoma State.
Well, again, you know, a lot of yardage Oklahoma State gained today versus Virginia Tech. But, Beth, it's the scoreboard, right? They only got 30 points. Virginia Tech known for that. Early in the season, playing West Virginia, they had 600 yards against them, but only gave up 24 points. Gundy knew it was going to be a challenge. His team came in and understood what this defense was all about, but they were able to withstand it And I think somebody's going to get wet.
Oh, they're going after the mullet.
See if the hair product's
They're
strong
going
enough.
after the mullet. Is America ready for this?
I haven't seen Gundy crack a smile yet, so hopefully this gets him a big grin here.
Amazing careers for Rudolph and Washington and the rest of this senior class. And it appears that Gundy will get doused in the handshake with Justin Fuente. James Washington, the Biletnikoff Award winner, a big second half. And Mason Rudolph bows out with a win, his 32nd as a starter at quarterback in Stillwater.
Some major losses here for Oklahoma State, Beth, moving into next year. One piece, obviously, they have in place is Justice Hill. You build around him, but what a career. Mason Rudolph, I've been impressed watching him on film the last couple weeks, and then tonight, this defense is pretty good for Virginia Tech, able to really pick up his game in the second half, carry the load for this football team, and make the plays down the field when his number was called.
Let's go down to the field now. Rocky's got Mike Gundy.
Coach, things were slow to start, but your quarterback, your offense really came on late. How's this feel right now?
Well, it's a great win for us. You know, we knew coming into the game it was a real evenly matched game, but can't be any more proud of our team. You know, we lost 2 corners. We put 2 guys out there that are seniors that have practiced all their career. One of them being Darius Curry, makes an interception. Ramon came in and played good. The defense played well late. But can't say enough about our guys. Virginia Tech is a heck of a program. Justin's done a great job. A lot of respect for them, but very proud of our team. Very appreciative of the Oklahoma State people that traveled to Orlando.
Coach, what does this win mean for your team moving forward into next year?
Well, I think that the seniors have led this program to 3 straight 10-win seasons, and they should be very proud of that. I've said all along that these guys have had a great year. Very proud of what they do on the field and off the field, and can't say enough about our quarterback wideout combination and obviously with Justice Hill.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rocky. Coming up next, it's the Valero Alamo Bowl, and for live coverage from this game of the post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One, you can log on to ESPN3. Oklahoma State beating Virginia Tech in the Camping World Bowl, 30-21 the final. Let's get you now to Adnan Virk and the gang in Pasadena.